Hello everyone, I am Tacet and welcome to the Gems of War stream. Of course, our objective is still pretty much the same, and that is grind all of the gnomes. Of course, it is still a gnome event weekend. We still have another 1 day and 14 hours to go. So the rest of this weekend for the event, and we'll be able to accumulate a bunch more resources for that. And that's pretty much the game plan. So we're pretty much halfway through, and we haven't gotten too much yet. Only 2 Volkies. Not the greatest of weekends, however, we haven't gotten an excessive amount of gnomes. But compared to last time, we got like 3 or 4 gnomes within this amount of gnome kills. Or sorry, Volkies within this amount of gnome kills. So we are a bit behind compared to last time, but last time was pretty lucky. Also, we did end up getting another 100 hero class. Last time we ended up finishing out the Hierophant hero class, which is actually interesting. It gets to use Cleanse into Triple Burning. It's actually decently fun. Probably one of the more underrated hero classes. Not one of the absolute best in the game, but pretty high up there. Nice little utility to have. Definitely not a first priority to get maxed, and it's only usable once maxed, so it's one of the reasons why a lot of people don't really probably use it much. But, yeah, other than that, Stormcaller right now. I believe Stormcaller gains an elemental bonus off its final perk. It also gains +1 to all Strix, which is pretty useful. Attack to all Strix, that is. So either of those two would end up being its most useful perk. So getting it to 100 does actually benefit it some. Not much, because you don't tend to use attack on Strix, and very rarely would you put more than like 2 elementals in a team like that. However, it could have some purpose into the future. So we still do want to get it maxed, of course. And, of course, we just want to get more hero class progress. But anyways, we're just going to do Zhejian. There's several locations we could do it in, but we're just going to go for quick kill Zhejian. Only bad thing about using Stormcaller, though, is we do have Perpetual Yellow Storm, which is actually a bad thing, not a good thing, because it'll make it so we get less mana. However, I guess it's not necessarily too bad of a thing, because it does increase extra turn chance. But it does make it so our Cascade has a less of a chance to give us blue or green, because it'll be overtaken by more yellow onto the board. But anyways, hope all of you have been having a good weekend so far. Hello, Drock Savage. Hello, Elite Gaming. Hello, Jefferson. Hello, Army Xtube. Hello, Lochnar. Hello, Sir Wolf. Hello, Tyranny. Hello, Starlight. Hello, Paul. Hello, Lochnar. And hello, everyone else. Welcome, welcome. Okay, let's get our explosions now. Yeah, we'll be grinding quite a bit today. I want those vault keys. We need all the loots. We've been needing to catch up on loot, especially since we're going to be spending quite a few gems soon, especially because of the next patch, which is very, very soon, TM. Possibility we're getting it next Monday, though no official date has been given. Also, let me go get up the gnome counter. We got our first gnome in the stream, 37. Gonna drop us a vault key immediately. You know you want to. Also, first vault key we get, we will hand out code, even if it's right now. Go. That's not a vault key. Still a good drop, though. Every glory gnome drop is a good drop. Hello, Stradium Scats. Welcome. Okay, what do we grab? What do we grab? Get our explosions. And we should be good to go from there. Kill it out immediately, as most of these battles should go. Like, there's almost nothing that will get in the way at this damage range in this specific faction. I mean, kingdom. Gosh, I keep calling kingdoms factions and factions kingdoms. They're kind of the same thing. Or, you know, the kingdom faction association. One's just in the overworld, the other one's in the underworld. Hello, Steven. Welcome. Curious to see what they do for the next zone. We're probably getting another zone in 5.0, though it hasn't been official as to what has been confirmed to be, if there even is going to be one, though it is pretty likely. But we don't know what it will be. Obviously, right now we still have Kristara, which is the main world, and Underworld, which is where all the delves are. Of which we have about half of them at this point, because we have 18 and there's 34 total, eventually. So we're a little past the halfway mark on that. And next Friday, we have ourselves new hero class, Monk hero class. Going to be pretty good. And the Friday after that, we'll end up having, what's it called? The first invasion event for a weekend. Because as of next patch, invasion events will now be a weekend event rather than a week event. Because it will be replaced with the new event system that's coming in next patch. Which also means we're 100% have next patch by then. Which is why it's likely we're getting it next Monday. Because it'd be very unlikely they would do it during a Guild War week. And I don't think they're around on the weekend to even do bring out a patch. But yeah, I believe next patch will be on Monday. This Monday. This Monday around 7 or 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Though it might be off by an hour because of daylight saving time. Isn't that this weekend? Don't we move forward an hour? Oh hey, we're 1 hour closer to Animal Crossing. Haha. The one time an hour skip might actually be useful. But yeah, Animal Crossing is coming out, what day was that? The same day that we're getting Invasions. The first weekend Invasion event for Gems of War is the same day Animal Crossing is coming out. I will be playing that game a lot. We'll still cover Invasions, though, of course, in a morning stream. Which seems weird to say, but we'll cover in the Monday video and in the morning stream on that Friday. But that's 2 weeks from now. Oh, another gnome. Let's see, we'll grab that. Yeah, there's a really high possibility that next patch is this Monday, though it has not been confirmed, so don't hold me to that. Yeah, it's gonna be nice. We now get more lore every single month. Before we used to get it every single week, but now it seems like they're gonna be doing it once a month. Right now we currently get no new lore for the most part, other than like a little tidbits through factions. But now we're gonna consistently keep getting it every month, which is gonna be pretty cool. And it's actually gonna be in the game itself rather than just on the forum. But yeah, we haven't gotten lore for a while. After Surian did the Lore Keeper book thing that he did, like that little story that he did for Gems of War, we stopped getting any amount of lore after that, which was kind of disappointing because we used to get a small amount every single week. But now it seems like they're going to do it on a monthly basis with the event. So that's going to be pretty cool. And I believe the first one is for Groshnok, if I'm not mistaken. Because it's whatever 2 weeks from now is, I believe. Or sorry, 3 weeks from now. Well, 2 resets from now. Wait. No, 3 resets from now. I believe 3 resets from now is the first event of the new system. Because it's not next week. It's not the following week, I don't believe. Even though we're getting a new invasion. Actually, it might be that following week. Never mind, let me go double check. It might actually be 2 weeks from now. Let me find a date on that. Because it'll bother me if I don't know exactly now. I know for sure that the 20th is the first invasion event. That's a weekend-long event. So the patch will 100% be out by then. Yes, it looks like, never mind, yeah, 2 weeks from now. It looks like next Monday's event, not next week's Monday, but the following Monday, so like a week and a half from now, like 9 days, will probably be the first event of the new system, because there's currently no event planned for Monday the 16th, which likely means it's the new one that's going to be in, added to the game, and we can see what kingdom it is based on what troop is coming in. And we can see that it is an event for Groshnok. So yes, we are 100% having patch by the 16th. Because there's currently no event planned, which means it's the new event. And we're getting a Groshnok troop, which means that one that they showed during the preview stream, that one Groshnok event, that's going to be the exact first event that we're going to be having on the 16th. So patch 100% by then. So that's cool. And we'll also have the first invasion event that week. So very soon, TM. That's basically less than a week away. We'll have the patch because it'll obviously happen prior to the actual day that's coming out on. However, whenever we do get the patch, it's going to be a bit underwhelming because the second we actually get the patch, there's almost no new content. It doesn't really happen until the 16th. Do we actually see anything really related to the patch unless they're doing some kind of rebalance that we're not aware of. But almost all of the effects of the patch don't take effect technically until the 16th since the biggest thing coming in next patch is the new game mode. Another gnome. Add that to the collection of gnomes that aren't dropping us vault key. Oh, he dropped a key. Not the key I'm looking for, though, by any means. But oh well. Not his worst drop. Also, hello, Steven. Hello, Mark the Punk. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, it's likely going to be a Heavens-like thing. Like the inverse of an Underworld. They were joking about it in the past, and there's actually a possibility they will legit do it. When do you think the new... Oh, wait. Did I answer that one yet? But yeah, it's Monday. Next patch is most likely Monday, but no official date has been given. Because they tried to avoid doing it during a Guild War week. And next Monday is the only day that they would likely do it between now and then that isn't Guild War related. Because they have to do it prior to the 16th, and all next week is Guild War. So Monday seems like the most likely time. Though it isn't, it's not impossible that they would do rework during a Guild War week. They just try not to, because if there's any amount of rebalance in the patch, it affects Guild Wars for people who didn't do their battles yet, either positively or negatively, depending on if stuff got buffed or nerfed. Of which we don't actually know if anything got buffed or nerfed. They don't ever show that in the beta. We never know that until the day it comes out. For all we know, nothing will get reworked, or a dozen troops could get reworked, or one, because sometimes they've only done one single troop, which is always weird when they do that. Wish they would rework a lot more. There's a lot that still needs rebalancing in the game. A lot of them are really small number tweaks too. I wouldn't even need like really big structural changes to troops. Yeah, curious what kind of lore bits they're going to be doing for some of these newer events. We technically already saw the lore for the new event that's coming out this 2 Mondays from now, because during the preview they end up showing it. I'm pretty sure most people didn't read it, but if you paused it during that point, you would have been able to. Yeah, we'll get it every month now, because I believe that event falls exactly once a month, because it's in rotation with the other events now. It's in rotation with Raids, Guild War, and Tower of Doom to fall exactly once a month. Or, you know, every 4 weeks. They basically took the place of Invasions, and now Invasions is a weekend event. With the first one taking place on the 20th. Did I reset Gnomes to 40? To mean to add 4 to previous 88? What do you mean by that? Oh, no, that's just the total so far. That's not just this stream. That's the total from yesterday and today. Because we just started streaming. Let's see if we grab that down. Yeah, that's just the total for this weekend right now. That number of gnomes. I believe we got 113 last vault event. And currently we're at 40. Oh, come on, cast. I hate when it does that weird delay thing. I just realized I'm not using controller. I sometimes do that even when I have controller. I even forget I have the controller set up and then just not use it. But nope, I don't even have it set up right now. Doesn't matter though. Still very quick to do without it. Yes, Infernus will be fixed as of next patch. So it might be used a little bit more for Guild Wars. So if it comes out on Monday, it would affect Guild War in that regard. Are we doing a mega stream to level up Stormcaller? I'm not sure how long today's stream is going to go for. But yes, today's stream should be a bit longer than normal, yes. How much longer, we'll kind of judge it by once we get there. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll probably still divide it into 2 streams, though. Because I highly doubt I'll be streaming all the way till 8. Yes, they finally fixed Infernus targeting as of next patch. That is correct. Supposedly. I didn't actually mess around with that in the beta. But supposedly it's finally fixed. The targeting on Infernus has kind of always been weird, due to how it distributes damage. And it would sometimes completely miss out on targets, which is one of the biggest issues that it had in the past. And it has to do with how it does its half damage twice. That ends up making it do that. Technically, a few other things have it, though it's less common to occur, like on Obsidious. But it should be fixed on all of them now. Infernus was just the most noteworthy one. But every single troop in the game that had multiple adjacent damages, random adjacent damages, had the same exact issue. And it should be fixed on all of them. Infernus is just the main one that gets brought up on it. Come on, more gnomes. No gnomes. How could you do such a thing? Well, if nothing else, every battle will give us sort of class XP. And a small amount of gold. Not a hefty amount, but adds up. I believe doing this method's about 100,000 gold per hour, which is definitely rather, not like low, but it's not one of the quicker rates in the game. However, where we make up for it is with all the gnomes. Or ideally all the gnomes, if they would stop hiding. Yeah, we did get more deeds today. I believe we had brown deeds. We had an epic deed. I forgot what color it was. I believe it was brown. Yeah, we've been getting a lot of deeds recently. I'm not sure why it's been so high, but yeah, this is how it seemed like during the beta. Like almost every other day was giving us deeds, and now like I feel like for almost a week straight we've gotten deeds. Like every single day it feels like, or almost every day. We're getting a really hefty amount lately. Not really getting any double deed days though, but actually yeah, we did get one double deed the other day or the other week. But still, we're on a pretty big deed streak out of nowhere. How effective is Skeleton Key Team from endgame player perspective? It's decent. I still use it for pet battles, even though there are things that are slightly quicker. However, it's used in gold farming team, which is pretty convenient for it. It's also good for great for mid-range PvP. It's also used for lower level factions, so it still has its purpose. The main thing that's used for is in the context of gold farming teams. So if you were to also use gold farming within a various team while still going at a decently quick speed, that's probably the biggest thing that ends up getting used for throughout the game, later in the game. But yeah, there definitely are stronger options in it as you get later into the game, that is for sure. However, it still maintains as the best weapon inside of a gold farming team. And that's relevant if you're hunting down more gold. And the best gold farming team in the game actually still uses Skeleton Key. Hey, 5,000 souls, nice. Anything good from here? Not really, just a Yasmin. Well, we get a medal out of it. Hey, what's our medals currently at these days? Let's go see the full breakdown. Medals are currently at 3 Nisha, 1 Anu, 8 are useless Arachnia that we should probably start using because we're going to get infinite a number of seasons next patch. Not infinite, but you know, we'll start getting quite a few. However, the first event that we ever get for it, we'll need to see how many packs we need to buy. We still don't know how much it'll cost to get 3 seasons immediately. We'll know that info on the 16th. As of the 16th, we will know the cost of 3 seasons. But at this current moment in time, we do not have an official pricing as far as how much 3 seasons will cost. And by 3 seasons, I mean getting 27 season medals, which gives you, 27 season tokens, which gives you 3 season medals. But we'll find out in pretty soon what they'll end up being. On the 16th, we'll know. I feel like it's going to be initially pretty pricey. It might cost like 2,000-3,000. You have to keep in mind, you get some through the event, so you would want to go a little bit less on packs and get the rest of them through just doing the event over the course of the week as your guild progresses through it. So I probably won't have 3 seasons until like the 19th or so, like a few days after the event. Just because I need my guild to actually farm to that point so that we have 3 seasons. That or I might not even buy 3 seasons initially and just buy 2 seasons. Because so many people are probably going to buy 3 seasons that it's going to inflate the leaderboard more than normal. So we'll see how we go about it. I don't know, I might just go for 3 seasons. It's a pretty nice medal to have. It's basically Arachnia, but with additional HP and armor. Arachnia is actually going to be useless as of next patch until they buff it in a future patch. Still have no clue why they didn't just buff it this patch. There's a bit of an oversight on their part that they never bothered doing. But Seasons, for any of you that don't know, gives 4 attack, 4 HP, and 4 armor. So the same effect of Arachnia, but also with 4 HP and 4 armor, which gives it the highest amount of stats of any token in the game. However, plus 8 armor will still be pretty useful in some situations, as well as 12 magic, neither of which the thing can do. I don't think the HP will be as useful, though. It's because nothing really boost ratios off it for the most part, that you couldn't just use Seasons for. Because something like Ketris obviously would want to use Seasons, since it gets even more of a benefit from having also the attack to boost ratio off of. Since 12 stats is more than 8. Hello, Kamira! Glad you could join one of our streams. It's going to be a rather long one, too, because we are gnome hunting. This is probably one of our last really big gnome grinds we're going to be doing for the weekend, too, to stream. Getting as much in as we can. You like the new class logo that we are getting? Yeah, it's pretty decent. I don't really like the metal designs, though. It looks kind of off. Oh, I could take an extra turn there. So I guess it doesn't matter. We already won. We could have cascaded the free blue mana if we didn't already have full mana. Hello, Trade. How do you use a controller to play on the PC version? You have to use a controller that Steam supports. I personally use a Nintendo Joy-Con. However, any single controller that Steam supports should work. And as long as Steam can pick up on it, you just connect it to Steam. Go into your settings for specifically Gems of War if you need to change any of the button. Make sure that you have an A input. And then just play the game and just use that A input to quick cast things. I'm not currently using a controller. I was yesterday. But, yeah, as long as Steam supports it. And as far as, I'm not sure of what a full list is, but I know it supports PS4 controller, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch Pro controller, and Joy-Cons. I know that it supports all of those. I personally use Joy-Cons just because it's a one-handed controller, which works really good when using mouse, because you can use mouse with one hand and controller with the other. Of course, the controller doesn't have to be one-handed, though. Just more convenient, I personally find. I'm actually going to be doing a similar method with, oddly enough, with Animal Crossing when it comes out. Because it has local multiplayer, and you can kind of cheese local multiplayer to have a bigger inventory. Because if you use another controller, you could end up having basically a second inventory. And I'm probably going to be using that a lot in early game prior to getting a bigger inventory. Because as many of you may know from like gathering games that are like resource based that have limited inventory, you tend to use your inventory pretty quick. And instead of having to constantly keep moving back and forth, we could basically just double our inventory by having another controller plugged in. So it'll be interesting to see if that strategy actually works. I definitely want to test it and see. I already have like my whole game plan planned out for that thing. I absolutely love like resource heavy based games. I'm a big fan of resource management and collection in games. I'm also way too try-hard with resource collection in many games. Gotta do the most efficient methods. Efficiency is fun. Let's see. We'll take that for now. Kill that out. Oh yeah, I'm really bad when it comes to loot on the ground in any game. If there is any loot on the ground that is uncollected, I must have it. I am really paranoid about that. And Animal Crossing might actually drive me a little bit crazy in that regard. Because there's like infinite loot in that game. To at least some capacity. So I'm going to be extremely paranoid initially. Just because I'll feel the need to go for literally everything. Even if it serves us no purpose whatsoever. In case it does have something that we don't know that we can use it for. Yep, there we go. Another gnome down. No Volky, though. But we will hand out first redeem code at Volky. We might even have 2 redeem codes today if we go a little bit longer. We'll see. We'll definitely have at least one. And there's no way we're getting 0 Volkies this stream. You miss legendary tasks. My guild still gets some, however, obviously a lot less than before. But yeah, a lot of guilds probably don't reach legendary tasks anymore. I'm pretty sure like more than half of guilds that used to reach legendary tasks actually can't anymore due to the new task system. Of course, you still get nearly the equivalent of legendary tasks from doing the epic tasks, among other loots that you wouldn't have been able to get before, like deeds. However, yes, it is much harder to reach legendary tasks. I think my guild only gets around 10 to 20 of them done per week. Whereas before we used to get dozens upon dozens, sometimes even like upwards of 50, if not more. But these days we only get like 10 to 20, it feels like. Because the new task system, how much did it add? Wasn't it like 33 million or something? It was like 30-something million extra gold. So it's like 30-something guild less legendary tasks per week that you're getting. However, you're still getting somewhat similar loot to it. Just in the form of epic tasks rather than legendary tasks. However, in doing so, that means you have less chance for mythics. Because the more legendary tasks you had, the more chances you would have had to roll mythics off of them. Whereas now, I don't think I've gotten a single mythic since the new task system. Just because you get so many less legendary tasks to roll mythic chances with. Pretty sure some amount of guilds have since then, but it's a lot less likely than before. A lot less likely. Oh, what do we even grab here? I'll take that for now. Oh, why did I not take green? We already could have won. No, and he stole it from me. I needed that green. We needed that. How else are we gonna cast our Owain? Also about to gain a hero level. Almost there. And at 1,600 we gain another stat. I forget which one. But we do gain one nonetheless. I believe it was attack. I looked it up earlier, but I already completely forgot what it was. So I looked it up a couple weeks ago, which is probably why I forget. Wasn't recently. Well, semi-recently, but you know. Wasn't like yesterday. I will grab green, full mana, dead. One nice thing about this build with how we're doing banners right now, it's +2 blue, +1 green. And since we have an additional +1 green off of Leprechaun, we have +2/+2 into blue and green. Which means if we 4 times or 5 times a blue or a green, we will gain full mana. Which allows us to cheese some battles by going super quickly, just by taking a single extra turn into our Wayne instantly killing. It's one of the other aspects that makes this team pretty quick. We can get under 15-second cycle if it was to do that every single time. Though obviously it's closer to 15 to 20-second cycle because it obviously can't consistently do stuff like that. Though it does get it occasionally, and when it does, it's nice. Helps speed things around. Notification doesn't seem to help on Android. Still need to do battle of some sort to activate if app open. In what regard? I know on my Android device it tells me when I get tribute, but it doesn't give me notifications for anything else. Unless you're supposed to go to a certain location to make it give notifications. Hello, Dinosuit Girl! Welcome. Nice. Extra turn for our instant kill is sitting there. Exactly what we want to see. Ideally, with a slightly smaller cascade, but I'll still take it. Quicker than an explosion. Nonetheless. Oh, is there a guaranteed way to see Pet Rescue? When you get the notification on a different device? Not that I'm aware of. And the app that they have for Chrome doesn't really work as well these days. They really need to update it because it's a bit buggy. I know, I read from the bottom up normally. So sometimes the syntax of some questions gets distorted. Nine legendary ingots. That is not what we need. Epic ingots and ultra rare ingots are the only 2 we need. Technically only epic ingots, but epic ingots, I mean, ultra rares do convert to epics. Even though it only gives 2 drops. 200, which converts to 2. Because it basically has 3 relevant drops to me. 20 ultra rare, which is 2 epics. 12 epics, which is 12 epics. And 50 epics, which is ultra rare. I think I've only ever gotten the 50 epic one once. But it is a drop that he has. Very rare, but a really nice one to have, given that epics are a bit harder to get than any of the other ingots. However, slightly less so. One really nice thing that they did with the patch, even though there was several controversial things that they did with the new task system in guilds, the epic task system. One really nice, good thing that they did do with it is epic ingots were completely saturated on that one tree. Before, what they were going to do is make it go from common all the way to mythic. However, they ended up making it just epic, which is actually the most valuable ingot in the game. That was one of the only trees where I feel like it was a pure benefit to what they did. Most of the other trees got nerfed in multiple different ways, like the fact that we can no longer get a free Nisha once a week, which would have been insanely good if that was a thing. Ooh, speaking of extremely good, 1,000 glory. But they ended up nerfing that. However, the only one that really got buffed, like in every single possible way, was the one that gives the purple ingots, the epic ingots. Because it got keys added to it, and it got all the ingots that it was originally going to give converted into epic ones, which is the most useful one anyways. And the main reason for that is legendary and mythic ingots, even if you're a little bit low on them, can be infinitely accumulated through delves. So as you do more delves, you're increasingly going to have more and more of them until you have more than you're ever going to need. Whereas there's not an equivalent for that for epic ingots. And the other 3 lower rarity ones are just low enough rarity that you can get them naturally. Just through like PvP over time naturally. And with basically just artificially makes the epic ones the hardest to obtain. Which is nice that it gives a surplus of them. I'll grab that. Get our thing over there. And I finally almost have all the epics I need. I believe we're 7 weapons short. Which means in another month or two, we'll probably have all the epic weapons done. Actually, probably by the end of next Gnome event. Not this one, but next month's one. I will probably have every epic weapon in the game max, which basically means I have every weapon in the game max, except for Mang, which I deliberately don't max, as well as some Doom weapons, which are pointless to max and extremely expensive if you want to max all of them. I don't think anyone in the game has every Doom weapon maxed. Just because to do so, you'd have to spend tens of thousands of gems, almost all of which would be wasted. How many epic weapons do you have total? Oh, I have no clue what the total is. I believe it's 80? 70? I'm not sure what the total is on epic weapons. I own every single one in the game. So however many exist is how many we have. Because there's not a single weapon we're missing. I'm gonna double check real quick though. Let's see, what's the total count on weapons? Where's base rarity? Oh, yeah, they don't have a base rarity. They already are their base rarity. Okay, epic weapons. So let's just count this out. So we add 3 to whatever we have here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 8, 36, 48. There are 48 epic weapons in the game. And we only have 8 that are not maxed. However, we have enough to do one, so we only have 7 that are not maxed. But yeah, there are 48 epic weapons. 296 total. And 48 of them are epic. So about 1/5 of them or so is epics then. Or sorry, 1/6. But about 1/6 is epic of all the weapons in the game, which makes sense. There's 6 rarities, and 6 of them are epic. However, legendary I think has the absolute most at like 100 something. But anyways, back to this Asian. And given that there's 48, it's 48 times 36 if I'm not mistaken is the total amount of epic ingots you would need throughout the game. At least in the current state of the game with how many epic weapons exist. Which is quite a lot. It's like a couple thousand. I don't know the math of that on the top of my head. And I guess we'll type it in real quick. What's 36 times 48? Let's see. It's 5,184. In the current state of the game, you need 5,184 epic ingots to max out every epic weapon. Which takes forever. We're almost done with it. There's a few hundred more. Yep, another gnome. If we can somehow get 250 drops this week, we'd be very close. Hey, Volky! Nice. That's what we want to see. Well, I did say we'd hand out code at first Volky. How about we hand out the second one at 5 Volkies? Because I'm going to assume we're going to get 5 Volkies, hopefully, fingers crossed. But let's go hand out code. Oh yeah, I forgot to mark them. Where are we in codes? I believe this G one was the last one we used, so let's try the V. Or maybe the V one was the last one. Let me double check. Yep, the V one is used. So it's probably the T one. Or you used 2? Yep, that was. I need to mark these. Let's see. That one's used 2. Gosh, how far down did we use already? We're already halfway done through these codes. Need to go ask Salty for more. Because we're going to run out about the time that Animal Crossing comes out. And I will be so busy with that game that I will forget to ask. So I should probably ask her a little bit beforehand. Because I'm going to try hard that game so much, like the first week or 2 it comes out. This is such a relaxing game. Let's see. Okay, so we got our code. We'll grab that, put that there. I'm like way too overly nostalgic for it. Oh wait, why did that not work? Wait, what? Oh yeah, it works. I just accidentally already reclaimed it. Duh. I was gonna say. I was just trying to mark it down. Okay, there we go. Here you guys go. That one should work. Let me know if it doesn't. That one should be the one that works. That'd be a fail if I grabbed the wrong one. Should be the right one though. Oh yeah, I always try hard relaxing games. If any of you have seen my Stardew Valley playthrough, we did like absolute max efficiency on one of the most like chill casual games there is. That's how I always play those kind of games. I go hardcore at first, and then you start getting into like the more chill methods of it. But initially, to set it all up exactly how I want it, I go all in for resource efficiency. I'm like that with every game, though. Oh, do we grab? We'll take that. Take a reds. Get our kill. And no problem for the code, everyone. Enjoy. And we'll have another one if we hit 5 Volkies, which we should this stream. Hopefully. We got pretty bad luck yesterday, though. We got 2 total yesterday. But since we already got one within the first half an hour, that's a pretty good sign. 2 per hour is actually really decent amount to get. Oh, another Glory Gnome. I mean, yeah, Glory Gnome. Let me add it to the Gnome list. 47. There we go. Definitely want to hit at least 100 Gnomes this weekend if we can. Try to help it. 1,000 Glory. Nice. We're at 2,700 Glory so far this half an hour. Really good Glory rate. This is why I always say if you want to farm Glory, do it during a Gnome event. The rate at which you get during a Gnome event is just absurdly higher than at any other point compared to grinding it out manually. It's so frustrating when devs try to hide stuff that you need to be optimal. Well, I don't mind that as much because games need to have various progression. I feel like one of the more annoying games that ended up doing that was Pokemon Sword and Shield, and that it hides the judge function, which you need to see the IVs and EVs of your Pokemon in order to tell like what their stats are and how good they are in various things, and how many perfect stats they have. The fact that you can't do that until endgame is really annoying, because that basically means you have to complete out the entire game before you can really start playing the game properly. Which is a little bit annoying. The biggest bottleneck that I think Animal Crossing this one will have is my strategy will probably work out perfectly for this game, because a lot of the customization features you don't actually get until later in the game. For example, restructuring your island you can't do until like probably mid-game or late game. We don't know exactly when it unlocks, but we know you don't get it immediately. So you can't even like fully recustomize your island until later in the game anyways. So having a resource focus initially is probably even more strategic, even more so for Animal Crossing, which is perfect for my playstyle, because it basically forces you to not have access to some customization when you first start out that you unlock later in the game. Let's see, we'll grab that for now. Hello, Steve. Welcome. Why not max Mang? There's 2 reasons why to not max Mang. One is that every single weapon in the game, once they obtain affixes, actually slow down by about half a second. Obviously, this isn't really too big a deal. However, if you're planning on using a weapon hundreds of times per hour, half a second definitely starts adding up. The other big issue is if they have any kind of board control, they waste about 1 second more, or about a 1 second total rather than a half a second. So you're wasting almost double the amount of time by getting Mang upgraded. That one gem spawn that it also does ends up possibly giving the enemies good value, as it has a higher chance of benefiting the enemy than it will benefit you, because a single gem spawn will always be more in favor of the enemy, given that there's normally about twice as many beneficial locations for that gem spawn for the enemy compared to yourself. And while it can benefit yourself, the benefit is more unfavorable luck-wise to the enemy. So that's one of the main reasons I don't have Mang. We'd waste a second pretty much per cast, and it favors the enemy more than it would favor us. Even though it would occasionally help us. But it would help the enemy more than it would help us. It's not too big a deal if you maxed out Mang. However, if you haven't maxed out Mang beyond 5, I do not advise getting it further than 5. The reason we specifically stop at 5 is anything further than 5 will add an affix. And all affixes take a small amount extra time. Particularly any that touch the board. I'm referring to Mang. Mountain Crusher is perfectly fine to max. You need to max out Mountain Crusher because of Brownstorm. Also, since Mountain Crusher has board control already, it actually has a 0-second delay by getting affixes. Unlike some weapons that will get some amount of delay. Because it already has a delay in order to board clear. So getting affixes on it doesn't actually add any delay to the weapon. Anything that already has board control does not gain delay by being upgraded with affixes. But if it naturally has no board control, it will slow down with affixes to some capacity. It's not excessively noticeable, but it adds up if you like compare it side by side. Like even this weapon that we're using right now would be like half a second slower due to the fact that it gains this life, poisons an enemy, and whatever the other 2 effects are. Eliminate 2 from first enemy and deal 5 damage to them. And if it had something like destroy 1 gem, it would take even a longer amount of time because you have to wait until that gem cascades off the board. And that takes almost double the amount of time. Any weapon that has an affix like that. Oh, another gnome, big 50. We're halfway to 100 mark. Which is probably the minimum amount of gnomes I want to kill on a given gnome event. Seems like a nice number to normally have, hitting the 3 digits. And anything beyond there will just be extra. But 100% at least want to hit 100. Not necessarily right now this stream, but definitely hitting it by the end of this weekend. Hello, Zeddicus! Welcome. Glad you could join us. Oh, Zeddicus, are you getting Animal Crossing? Actually, who is getting Animal Crossing, by the way? Because we definitely need to have a really chill Animal Crossing stream. And I'll invite you all to my town once we finally have it optimized. But that will probably be a couple weeks after launch. Till we have it truly how we want it. But, yeah, I'm, like, so gonna be, we're so gonna grind it out. That is for sure. Yeah, I'm way too hyped for it, to be honest. I need to stop looking at, like, preview content for it, because it's only making me want it more. I need to just forget it that it exists, and then remember on the 20th that it exists. Just so I stop thinking about it. Oh, what a grab. Look at that for now. I honestly feel like it's going to be one of the top 5 games for Switch. Actually, what would I put as the top 5 games for Switch? Definitely Smash. Like, that's, like, the #1. Fire Emblem 3 Houses, I'd probably have to say, is 2. 3 is probably Mario Kart, just because of its replay value, even though it has a pretty bad single-player experience in this particular Mario Kart. 4th, I'd probably have to place probably Animal Crossing, though it might even be higher than Mario Kart. And 5th would probably be something like, I don't know, what really big game did I not mention? I don't know, I'm always, I don't actually consider things like Breath of the Wild and things as high. Even though it is a good game, it's just not my personal favorite as far as genre. That's why I don't tend to like it as much. Let's see. Grab that for now. I don't know, anything that's too action-y based I tend to not like. Anything that's like extremely explore, open world based or extreme action based, I tend to not really care for as much. Particularly action-like things. Need it to be nice and relaxing. It needs to either be nice and relaxing or extremely strategy based. Why is speed so important? Because the quicker you can win, the more resources you get. Because efficiency, it's obviously not that big a deal. But, I don't know, I just like to be efficient with games. And any kind of time saving that you can do tends to be beneficial. Especially in resource-heavy games, where any amount of time saved is more resources per hour. I could just take an extra turn, whoops. And you have to keep in mind quite a few battles where you might be using some of these weapons. When I say like half a second or a second, that might not seem like a lot of time. However, if you look at the amount of time this battle is taking right now, a second seems like a lot of time. Because each battle is taking like, as far as the time we're actually within the battle, it's like 10 seconds. Like half the battle is menuing after the battle, pretty much. Like you have the battle, and then you have menuing. And menuing is like 1/3, the battle's like 2/3. So shaving off a second per battle, but due to a weapon that casts a bit quicker, is quite beneficial. And even if you're doing a longer battle, like a minute-long battle, you're likely casting your weapon a few times, which would shave off like 2 seconds or so, compared to not having the affixes compared to having them. I've only ever done that with Mang, just because I don't feel like I use enough of the other weapons enough to really justify not upgrading them. But almost every weapon in the game is actually more beneficial without their affixes, as weird as that may seem. Yeah, the faster you kill, the more gnomes you get. It's particularly important during gnome events to kill quickly, more so than any time in Gems of War, mostly because the rate at which you get gnomes, the biggest factor that's contributed by is based on how quickly you can cycle through battles. So the quicker we can cycle through battles, the more gnomes we get. Because the drop rate is the same absolutely everywhere. However, that makes it so the only determination for getting more is the rate at which you get battles. And you can't just keep retreating from a battle, going in and retreating. That doesn't work. They actually ended up patching out that strategy a while ago. I need to add that gnome. And you need to go give me 50 epic ingots. You know you want to. 4 mythic. That's like one of his worst drops. Actually, legendary and mythics are both equally worse. Hello, Rammerford! Welcome. Let's see. Perfect timing for weekend stream. Yep, we'll be going for a while today. We're going to be getting a lot of gnome grind in. We're only about an hour in, but we'll definitely be going for at least a few hours, if not longer. Probably go a little bit longer than normal today, ideally. Depends how I feel in a few hours. The only bad thing about Gems of War is it's a really big session-based game. And it's a little bit hard to just sit down and play for very, very, very long durations compared to some other games. Well, I absolutely do love this game. It's not the kind of game that has that can be played like infinitely. Even though it has a lot of things that lets you play it infinitely, it's more of a thing that you pick up for a little while, play it a bit, and then put it back down, and then do the same at a later time. Best place to quick farm yellow trait stones. Whitehelm. But you do have to put it at a lower difficulty though. Whitehelm does have spell reduction, so if you're normally used to doing Explore 2, you might have to do Explore 1. And if you're used to doing Explore 3, you might have to do Explore 2. Like, if I went there, I would even need to go do Explore 2, even with how much stats we have. And the main reason for that is Whitehelm does have a lot of spell reduction. However, it is the best location for farming yellow. I think like 2/3 of the place is yellow, as far as the troops there. Not to mention all trait stones drop as yellow, which is the main part of your question. So the other part that I just mentioned is kind of irrelevant. But it does drop only yellow trait stones there. So if you're looking for just yellow, it's the best place. But you might have to do it on Explore 1 just because it has the most amount of spell reduction of any kingdom. Which makes it a bit annoying to kill with spell damage, which is the main way that you kill any Explore battle. Given that skulls would be slower than instantly killing it with a cast. There we go, 53. Add that to our list. Oh yeah, Animal Crossing is a very, very long-lasting game. I have a lot of nostalgia for it because I played it a lot when I was younger. I actually have yet to play it since the GameCube version, even though they've made multiple versions since then. But it's pretty interesting too in that it's actually based on the time of day. There's like actual shops within the game that are only available at certain times of the day, that if it's like too late at night, you wouldn't actually even be able to use. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I believe it was one of the first games ever to actually really implement a real-time kind of clock like that as well. Even though it was pretty exploitable back in the GameCube days. It won't be as exploitable in this version of Animal Crossing. But I don't recall anything prior to that. Like it was out in 2001. And you could almost consider it like one of the first kind of games that did that. Like, what really did it prior? Because it had a real-time clock, it had seasonal events and everything like already integrated into the game, even back in 2001. Most games didn't really do that at the time. A friend introduced you to Gems of War about 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah, that's how I initially found out about it. A friend who I was playing in a game called Unepic with, which is basically like a joke RPG kind of thing, like a humorous RPG. It was actually a pretty fun game made by an indie developer. I was in contact with him a little bit at the time, but I ended up having actually about 1,000 hours in that game or so. Really enjoyed it because it had a pretty unique weapon system. It was like it was also one of the first games I ever played in the Megalovania kind of genre, or whatever that one genre is called. The same genre that Metroid is in and everything. Anyways, what was the point I was getting at? But yeah, someone who I was playing that game with ended up introducing me to Gems of War. He was like, "Oh yeah, we should go do this guild," and then we ended up making a guild, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll just keep playing this game," and I ended up making my own guild eventually after like a year, and then you know, just kind of went from there. And about a year and a half into the game, I just made this channel related to the game, and here we are now, still doing stuff for the game. Yeah, Gems of War is really fun. It was actually the first. Did I say Megalovania? Oh yeah, that's not the word. It's M. It begins with M. I just said Megalovania as if that's from Undertale. What's it called? What is that genre called? Now I completely forget. Hey, we gained a level. It's the same kind of genre that I know Metroid was the main one that Metroidvania. Yeah, Metroid was the first, or not the first, but the probably one of the bigger games that ended up popularizing the genre. That and what's the other one I'm trying to think of? It's the one that Richter and everything is from. That one with the vampire and everything. Why can I not remember the name of the series? I'm trying to figure out that name. That was the other one that was pretty big in that genre. That ended up popularizing the genre. I don't feel like it's that used of a genre these days, though. Let's see. I'll take that, Kill that with split damage. I have played Gems of War pretty much every day for like an hour since its release, pretty much. For like 5 years now. It's a great game just to pick up throughout the day, just for a small duration of time. And ever since they added dailies and stuff like that, it actually gives you some kind of structure to aim for as well. Whereas before, there wasn't really as much structure. But now if you need something to do, it kind of gives you something to do. Oh, so hello, GJ Ram. Welcome. Actually, that's something that the Animal Crossing game is, I believe, implementing too. They actually have daily tasks that you can do. Because one thing with Animal Crossing that was not really an issue, but something that could happen, is that you might not necessarily know what you want to do on any given day in the game, just because it doesn't really set out objectives in the past. But now it kind of is to some capacity, so it can give you some kind of direction. Because sometimes you can have so many options that you don't know what to do in various games. That can definitely be a problem. I feel like RuneScape was probably one of the biggest offenders of that. It's because there's always so many things that you could do at a given time. And while there are efficiency routes that will get you overall better, that you might want to aim for, the actual path isn't really as clear as what you might want to do on a given day. You're only at 1 Volky. Well, we're pretty low, too. We're only at 3 right now. Still trying to grind it out. We'll give another code at 5. Also, I'm pretty sure this code's already used up, but make sure to go use that code if you guys haven't already. Excuse me. If you haven't already used that code. That's the only problem with eating breakfast before stream. Also, I feel like I need caffeine. Might need to go get a soda. I need to keep tea more in the house, though. Because I've been trying to stay away from soda, but whenever I want caffeine, I always have like a small amount in the house. I think I still have Dr. Pepper. I don't know, what's your guys' favorite soda? Go. I don't know. I feel like my 2 favorite are any of the flavored Cokes, like the Cherry Coke or the Raspberry Coke, particularly Raspberry Coke, and like a few of those other ones, or Dr. Pepper are probably like my favorite too. Vanilla Coke, interesting. I have heard of that. I can't recall the last time I've had it. Vanilla root beer is pretty good too. Oh, I actually have ginger ale in the house right now. It's really light on the stomach. Let's see. Canada Dry Ginger Ale, especially cranberry. They have a cranberry version of that? Interesting. I have normal ginger ale, Canada Dry Ginger Ale in the house right now, I believe. But, I never realized they made a raspberry one. Is that really a thing? I don't think I've ever seen it in a store by me. Though I normally go to a small Walmart, which is a pretty small selection. Because it's like a really, really, like, small one that's just there for, basic needs. So it doesn't have much of a selection for most things. Though it's really nice because it's literally, like, less than half a mile away. Actually, if there was no roads, or if there was no, like, trees or anything in the way, I think it would be, like, a 1-minute walk. But it takes, like, a lot longer because I have to go past a road and kind of go all the way around. But anyways, what is that? Raspberry ginger ale? I love raspberry flavored things. Raspberry ginger ale. That's a thing? Wow. Where can I get this? I need to try this now. That's a thing? Interesting. Very interesting. I'll need to see. I don't know anywhere where that sells something like that. Let's see what to grab here. I'll take that for now. But now I'm getting thirsty. All this drinking talk. Oh no. That thing actually devoured us yesterday, the Gorbel. It was like 13% chance and he actually got it. It was really annoying because he made the battle take like a whole minute long. Almost a 5% key drop. Last event, your percent was higher. Oh yeah, the actual percent drop is about 1 in 10 or 1 in 15. It's somewhere within that drop range. So we were real behind on this event. And we were really lucky on the previous event. We were getting them less than 1 in 10 last event. It was more like 1 in 8. And this event, we're over 1 in 15. But the actual drop rate somewhere in 1 in 10 and 1 in 15. Anything lower than that is good. And anything higher than that is bad. And we're currently higher. As long as I stream it, you'll buy it. Yeah, I haven't streamed too many other games. I tend to only stream the games that I like really like and feel like will actually be worth streaming. Because some games don't work as good for streaming compared to others. Like most of what I did for Fire Emblem, even though we did stream it to some capacity, it doesn't work as good for a streaming game. I feel like Animal Crossing will probably be the best one. That one of the better ones that we've done for streaming. Just because it's so chill and relaxing. We might even need to go get the ASMR mic out. I'm not even sure how to adjust the mic to make it like that. Get the full experience going. We'll probably just use a normal mic initially. Because I have no clue how to even tweak it towards that direction. Pretty sure it's pretty simple. Let's see. I'll grab that for now. Can you show you a team that works well with the new Mythic? Sure. We did a video on it yesterday. But as far as various teams, we had, that's not it. We had a Purple Guild War version that ended up running with Psidius into Will of Nisha. That one probably actually worked the worst, oddly enough. We had this one, which probably worked out the best. It's a true damage version of her where you don't actually cast her but use her for additional stats. It's not pure color, however, you can make it into pure yellow or pure purple if you wanted to tweak it towards Guild War. The one that I found was actually surprisingly good was Wall of Tentacles just into Will of Nisha. The main reason why this actually has so much effectiveness is you constantly keep passing your turn and gaining magic. You basically gain 3 magic per turn, 2 off the tentacles and 1 off the Nisha's 1 to all stats. And it ends up gaining quite a bit of stats over time. Like if we go and try battle right over here, I'm gonna try finding something that's a little bit less annoying. Why is every single thing I'm clicking on like hard countering this team? Or too easy? Come on, get a real team. That isn't. Come on, I want to get a real battle. There. No, I don't want Weaver either because we need to not get webbed. She does get hard countered by web. This is annoying too, but I guess we'll fight it. Oh no, maybe we shouldn't because we're not gonna be touching the board. We need something kind of in between. Seriously, can you stop giving us that team? That's even worse. Web spinner. Can we get something that's like not gonna be ultra annoying? There we go. That should be fine. Let's do it with this. But basically, our goal is get 15 mana and then go from there. Also, freeze has basically no effect on this team. Let's see. We'll take that for now, and now we should be good to go. So now what we do is we keep casting these, and then we wait until we can cycle all the way back to the Nisha to full mana. Then we cast Nisha and repeat from there. Unfortunately, he just completely ruined my cycle, and we're probably already going to lose. She has a lot of faults. The biggest fault is that she can't hit Submerge. And she's overall one of the worst mythics in the game. Or not absolute worst, but she's probably like D tier, C tier, somewhere around there. She's like mid-range at best. Let's go use, I guess, one of the full compositions. But yeah, she's pretty bad. We'll do against this, I guess, and just hope we don't get looped. Let's see. But she is towards the not good end of mythics. Like, she's probably a little bit below average as far as the mythics are concerned. Because most of her value is her traits. Like 80 to 90% of her value is just her traits and nothing else. And they're not even like excessively good traits either. But we'll grab that, get our manas. Grab herself, what do we even want here? We'll take yellow for now. Get another explosion. Need to get that Grey King running, otherwise this team is going to go crazy. What's the best thing to disable here? Probably green? Just because his two biggest things are going to be using that green. It also gives us some Weaver that we can true damage right into it. Nice, that works. Okay, now we want to hit on probably brown just to get rid of his capability of doing anything. Which I probably shouldn't have done brown due to Brown Storm. We can throw an AoE here. Steal a little bit of magic. Less than Yagwe because there's only 2 left, so she only stole 6 magic instead of 8. But yeah, she is so bad. You might as well just use Yagwe. Like, if you want to use a troop that's like her, you might as well just use Yagwe. There's almost no point in actually using her. But notice on most of these teams too, she's almost just kind of like the side piece of it. She's not even like the main component of the team. But she is allowing our true damage to hit a little bit better than it would be otherwise. Look, she doesn't even have enough damage to kill right now. That will take Skull Undead. But yeah, she's rather underwhelming. And that's just a true damage build with her. You do want to consider getting her, though. Even though she's a rather underwhelming mythic. Silverglade's a magic kingdom. And you need to own either Queen Aurora or Will of Nisha. And if you currently own neither, Will of Nisha is currently easier to obtain this week than Queen Aurora. I'll probably make a reminder of that on Monday as well. But do keep in mind that if you have 0 mythics for Silverglade, you might want to consider getting Nisha. Because if you're getting close to 10 stars on Silverglade, like if you're already at 6 or 7 stars, you could probably push to 10 and do so by using the Nisha mythic that you would end up getting from the keys. So it's definitely worth considering. Also, the redeem code gives same reward as always. I'm pretty sure it's already used up by now, but 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, and 2,500 gold. Mixed within all those other rewards from other stuff. So hey, we're almost back at 4 million gold. That's going to go down so much in a second once we end up finally getting the event week next week, because that's going to burn through like 2 million gold. Not to mention we need to save some amount for the faction coming up. But anyways, back to Stormcaller. Let's keep leveling this thing. And we'll go from there. Okay, what do we want here? Let's get our explosions. Grab our split damage. What team is that team? I assume it's Nisha team. My efforts with it so far seem rather lackluster. Let's see, let's go grab it real quick. Let me go up in a little tab thing for it. Where's my YouTube channel? Let's go leave a like on our own stream, I guess, while we're here. Oh, why am I going to my channel? I could just typed in Gems of War. That works too. There we go. And ad is playing. Leave a like on our own stream. And let me go get that team. Copy, copy. Paste, paste. Let's see. Where's my team slots? What do we not need? Need almost all of this. Let's get rid of one of these that we're probably not using. Yeah, Dervish event. Why do we have this? We're just messing with... Oh, yeah, we were messing with a Hierophant team earlier. Let's see. Mountain Crusher, Rock Troll, Will of Nisha, Grey King. Yeah, same kind of premise, but it's based on an extremely high amount of brown accumulation. Why is Will of Nisha in front of the Grey King, though? I feel like you'd want to cast Grey King more than you'd cast Will of Nisha with this team. But aside from that, it seems like it would work. But you just do Mountain Crusher loop into Rock Troll. And that's not infinite loop, but it gives you a lot of mana. That pretty much keeps you at full mana for everything. And then you just keep spamming Will of Nisha and Grey King. But I feel like you'd want to cast Grey King more than Will of Nisha. We can give it a shot real quick, though. Well, you can use Will of Nisha to magic reduce some. Go try it against this giant team. Where's my team I just put in? Where do we put it on? Dervish event. We'll give it a shot. Okay, I'll take that for now. I don't have enough mana to get rolling yet. Oops, that's not what I meant to take. Two different ways to take that for an extra turn. I misclicked the one that doesn't. We'll do that, double our brown. Actually, no. We'll go for Mountain Crusher first. Then we'll double our brown. Let's go for this first. Actually, let me take that first. Get our AoE in. Get our magic production. Disable red. Then we'll double brown. Actually, we'll mountain first. Then we'll double brown. Get that doubled. Throw that for now. Then we'll go for a nice full AoE. Get our magic reduction. That has worked pretty decently. I'll get a disable onto red again, I guess. But we're pretty lucky to be up against a triple colored team. Grey King always has a better benefits in those situations. Get another full AoE. Keeps getting bigger over time. Black spike. And then we'll disable blue because that disables the rest of his team. Pretty convenient with their coloration. And then we just kill with either or, doesn't matter which one, and we'll just kill with AoE. Ends up working out pretty nice. And you have double tank too, between Titan and Rock Troll. And of course the brown feeds into both of them. Yep, works out. But anyways, back to the explore grind. Still want to try aiming for that 5 Volkies, if not more. It feels weird aiming for such a small amount. But, I don't know, we've been getting pretty unlucky this weekend. We're way below drop rate compared to normal. Relative to the number of gnomes. Because with the number of gnomes we have killed, we should have, at minimum, like 4 to 6 Volkies. At minimum 4. Let's see. We'll take that. Grab the gnome thing up. I still didn't mark it down yet. 54. There we go. And we got 5 gems. Every little bit helps. Not the best of his drop, not the worst, but any amount of extra gems definitely helps out. Oh, another gnome. We're getting our cluster of gnomes apparently. Great to see. Anything good in you? 12 epic ingots, yes. Second best drop he has. Or at least while we still need epic ingots anyways. Eventually we're going to have a surplus of them, and I'm going to consider him probably one of the worst gnomes at that point. He'll be as bad as Jewel Gnome at that point. But at this current moment in time, I need him for his epics. We just rolled Nisha from 200 gem keys. That's pretty lucky. That's not unlucky. Unless you're referring to the fact that you got a double of one. But she's the only thing in the Glory Gem Guild or VIP chest right now for Mythics. And she's good to have if you don't have a Mythic for Silverglade yet. It's like our biggest purpose. Like almost all of her value is the fact that she counts as a Silverglade Mythic. Similar to how Mother of Darkness, almost all her value is coming from the fact that she's a Darkstone Mythic. We have troops that increase gold and souls. Has there ever been a troop that increases glory? No. We thought there would be. That one troop that dies gloriously. Prior to it coming out, we thought it would give glory on death. However, it does not give glory on death for whatever reason, even though its ability literally says it dies gloriously. I still don't understand why they didn't give it like a 5 glory gain or even, you know, some kind of small amount, since you could only ever cast it once across your entire team anyways. So it's not like you can mass cast it anyways. Because not only does he kill himself, but even if you have multiple, you can only cast it once, even if you have 2 or 3 on your team. But I really wish they would have done a glory gain to it. We also thought that one Runesmith troop would end up increasing trait stone rates, but it didn't end up doing that either. But no, currently nothing increases the rate of glory. The only thing that is currently in the game that increases glory by any amount is Hero has a perk that gives 1 additional glory per PvP battle. However, it's such a small amount that's normally not used that often, because it's on the same tree that has Brownstorm, and normally the Brownstorm would help you win so much quicker that you're better off just having the Brownstorm than having the +1 glory, since the Brownstorm would theoretically give you more glory due to the rate at which it increases the speed at which you win. Kind of like the team that we were just using with that Titan, with the 2 Mythics. It would have been way quicker to farm glory with that with Brownstorm than it would have been with a +1 glory, simply because it would have cycled through battles a lot quicker with the Brownstorm. So even though we're getting 1 less glory per battle, we're getting more glory per hour. But that's the only thing that directly gives more glory in the game, off of any kind of perk or ability. Yes, that is true. Whenever there's a new mythic that comes into the game, it's the first Friday of every single month. And basically how it happens is for the duration of the new mythic, it is the only mythic in the Glory Gem Guild and VIP chest for the entire week. So from now until Friday reset, so basically the end of Thursday, the only mythic that's in Glory Gem Guild and VIP chest is the Will of Nisha. There is no other mythic in the drop table. Every mythic drop you get will be a Will of Nisha, even if you already own a Will of Nisha copy. The only drop table that is different is event keys, and event keys are always based on the kingdom, regardless if there's exclusive mythic and drop table. And right now the kingdom is Drifting Sand, so it's currently Scorpius and I almost said Uriali. Scorpius and Vespera are the 2 that are in event keys, and that will change as of Monday. But yeah, whenever a new mythic comes out, it's the only one available, and that's mostly to make it so it's a lot more accessible to obtain a new mythic. Because obviously if they didn't do it that way, it would be extremely hard to just randomly pull it from keys. It's already pretty hard to randomly pull it from keys. Oh, did I say Shabanu? Shabanu is Vespera. Shabanu Vespera is her name, right? I'm not going crazy. Her name is definitely Shabanu Vespera. Right? I'm not going crazy. Can I get one of these typed? There we go. Yeah, Shabana Vespera. I just call it or one or the other normally, rather than saying the full thing. Just a rather long name. You're just used to correcting me. Yeah, they're both the same troop. I just tend to call her Vespera. Oh, Queen of Wind. Interesting. That would explain her ability. Because wind in this game is associated with random storms normally, as well as random mana accumulation. And she has random mana accumulation. So for gnomes, farm a single kingdom or rotate around? Farm a single kingdom. There's no point in rotating around. It might seem like it has a pseudo effect on helping you with gnomes, but going to a different kingdom has no effect on your gnome drop rate at all. But you just want to take a single easiest kingdom. Whatever one you can consistently always kill. Do you go for, wait, what is COT? Do you go for the rooms that give your troops money bags and greedy first? Or no? Oh, City of Thieves. You've been doing that. You don't really go for, the coin ones, but you do go for money bags for sure. The one that has greedy, you don't really go out of your way for. Assuming your team will automatically hit max gold. Because if you're doing at a low level with like a gold farming team, you wouldn't really need to go for greedy. And the only other time you might go for greedy is if you don't have a gold farming team. And you could go for both greedy and for Cedric. But more often than not, I wouldn't really go for greedy first. Sorry, I wouldn't go for, my bad. I wouldn't go for the, yeah, I was right the first time. I wouldn't go for greedy first, but you should always 100% of the time go for money bags first. Money bags is the only treasure room that 100% of the time you should take as immediately as you possibly can. So yes, in City of Thieves, if you see a Cedric room, you should take it as your very first room. Or, you know, the second room, because the first room's automatically the Delve room. You know, the first room that you actually have a choice to take should be the Cedric room. Every single time you see Cedric in City of Thieves. Even if you're not using a gold farming team, you should do that. Because it substantially increases the amount of gold that you could potentially gain per battle. Even just off your random extra turns. And even if you're just using a single leprechaun. But ideally, you'd be having greed or something else that can quick max out your gold. Like a skeleton key team or something with greed. You don't have to do that method, but it is pretty helpful. You can also end up doing it with a Rowan and do a single cast greed into a leprechaun into Rowan. And if you're at a level range where that one shot ends up working out pretty well. Have a good gold farming team for City of Thieves? Yes. You can do Rowan build. You can do something like Mountain Crusher, Rowan, Leprechaun, and Greed. Immediately cast Greed, immediately cast Leprechaun. You get full mana Rowan and win off a Rowan cast. And then this rinse and repeat. Greed will give you max gold. If he somehow doesn't give you max gold, the Leprechaun will give you max gold. And then you get full mana off of the Leprechaun cast, which you use Rowan to kill. Sorry, Jefferson, what was your question? Do legendary tasks only drop the new mythic? No. Legendary tasks actually drop a random mythic, even if there's an exclusive mythic in drop table. That also includes the $50 packs, if you were to go and get one of those. And if you get a random mythic from it, it is completely random, even if there's an exclusive mythic. And the same applies to mythic tasks. Or legendary tasks, I mean. If you happen to randomly get one from your guild, it will be completely random. It will not specifically be whatever the event is. The only actual key drops are based on that. Glory Gem Guild and VIP chests are affected by it. That's why the page specifically mentions it on the thing. Or I believe it does. It should still mention it. It specifically states Glory Gem Guild and VIP chests. Where'd it go? Yeah, right there. Exclusive to Glory Gem Guild and VIP chests for 1 week only. It is actually not in any other location other than those. Even though that's pretty much every location in the game. Anything that drops a random mythic will still be a random mythic. Like, for example, legendary tasks. Because those are the only 4 locations actually affected. Glory Gem Guild and VIP chests. As it mentions on the page. But yeah, legendary tasks and the $50 packs are not affected by it. They're always random regardless. So that would be a pretty interesting mechanic. But that'd still be pretty expensive. Spending $50 for a guaranteed new mythic. You can get a whole game for that price. For example, Animal Crossing. Actually, Animal Crossing is only going to cost me $47.50. I still have some of those coupons from last year when I ended up mass buying them. I still have 3 left. I'm not sure what I'm going to be using the other 2 for. They actually expire in a couple months. I might just get Breath of the Wild and something else. I still want to play through all of Breath of the Wild. I still haven't played through the game. I've seen a lot of gameplay of it and everything. But I do want to play through it before Breath of the Wild 2 comes out. Which will probably be Game of the Year for whatever year it comes out. Almost guarantee. Actually, I haven't really gotten into a Legend of Zelda game since probably Ocarina of Time. I have played more games since then, but as far as ones that I felt like really big immersion towards. I feel like Ocarina of Time was the only one. I technically played Cadence of Hyrule when it came out last year, and a little bit since, but that doesn't really count because it's a third party. And it didn't really have much lore related to the game. It was more of a just a really fun game with an interesting concept. How many people go to the website to read fine print? For what? Oh, you mean on that page? I have no clue. Probably a low amount. Yep, instant kill. Nice. Always great to see that. Oh yeah, I never did replay Spyro. I never actually owned any of the consoles, but I played it at friends' houses in the past when I was younger. The only thing I would probably hate about Spyro, though, is I'm not really big on platformers. Very, very rarely do I play them. I think Mario Maker 2 was one of the only really few exceptions I've had in recent time. Another one that I would have an exception for, which they need to do a remake of, is Mario Sunshine 2. That needs to be a thing. Mario Sunshine is probably my favorite Mario game ever made. I think Mario platformer-wise. My actual favorite Mario game is probably Paper Mario and the Thousand-Year Door, which was pretty much the last good Paper Mario. Every single one since then went downhill from there. Which actually reminds me, there's no Paper Mario game on Switch yet. I wonder if that's actually in development and just not mentioned yet. That would actually be pretty hype if they made another one like a Thousand-Year Door. Let's see. We'll take that one over. Do I also have Nintendo Gold coins to use as well as the added discounts? Well, you do get them from various things. I think I've used up most of my gold coins, though. The main thing I have right now is 3 free vouchers for games. I ended up buying them last year, and I still have 3. One of them's going to Animal Crossing. And they basically came out to $47.50 each per game. But it's digital only. You don't get the physical copy. Though the Walmart by me sells physical copies for like $50. When I bought Ring Fit Adventure, which is something I still haven't streamed. Maybe we'll do that next week. But when I ended up getting Ring Fit Adventure at my Walmart, it retails for $80. My Walmart sold it for like $65. I was really surprised. Like after tax, I think it came out to $70 or something. Regardless, it was at like $10 cheaper than what it would have been otherwise. And all their games seem to be like that at my local Walmart. Not the one that's in walking distance, but the other Walmart. The one that's in walking distance is basically just a grocery store. Which is convenient, because it's the main place I get most of my groceries from. This is the only one that's, well, it's not the only one not by me, but it's the closest one. I think a Food Line's somewhat decently close, but I prefer just doing the Walmart. Anyways. Another gnome. What's COT? COT is City of Thieves. It's the best farming faction in the game. Yeah, there's so many initials in this game that they even threw me off for a second when COT was mentioned. But yeah, COT is City of Thieves. It's the best farming faction in the game. You ideally want to keep it at level 20 forever, because it is an insanely good faction to farm. 100 souls, that's pitiful. I'm kind of surprised Nintendo hasn't done a Nintendo Direct for a while. I can't even remember when the last one was. Because we don't really know what else is really coming out that's super big this year other than Animal Crossing for the most part. And E3 might be getting canceled, so they won't even be able to mention anything during that either. Actually, hasn't been 100% confirmed canceled yet, because obviously because of coronavirus, there's been speculation that it would be canceled. Which, honestly, I feel like the event might end up dying out if it does get canceled this year. Because it's already starting to already slowly be less relevant. And if it literally gets canceled because of coronavirus, a lot of companies will realize, wait, why do we even need this event when we could just do it, you know, separately? Let's see. We'll go for that. You use Mountain Crusher, Cedric, Rowan, and Greed. Yeah, that would end up working. The main reason why I use the Leprechaun and Greed with it is just to rush mana a bit more. It allows you to empower into full mana. Whereas with that team, you'll have to manually take it, which won't take too long, especially if you get a good starting board, but sometimes you don't get a good starting board. And Leprechaun allows you to always have a good option. That's why we use it with this team, because we always pretty much, if you don't get full mana off it, you're going to get a board clear to the point where you can just take the full mana immediately. Especially when not using Mirage Queen on a team, you kind of need a little bit of extra mana boost. Otherwise, she starts with only 2 mana off of 20% mana start. Lowered down from our normal 6 that she would have. So it'd be a 4 whole mana lower. Not having Mirage Queen on the team. It's definitely not required to make Rowan work. But you normally would want to have it empowered if you're not going down the 50% start route. And even if you are going down the 50% start route, it's still good to have with it. Especially if your team still has room. Oh no, I'm out of water. Does that mean we get a Vault Key? Come on, make up for our lack of water with a Vault Key. Also, I might need to go get another water now. Might as well go get a soda while I'm there too. 100 souls. What is with these things? It's like his second 100 soul drop in a row. I know it's one of his more common drops, but still. It's also one of his worst drops. Okay, what do we need here? Get our explosions. Get our splits. And I'll be back in 1 minute. I'm gonna go get water. Okay, we're back. Where were we? Why are explosions so satisfying? Because boom boom sexy. Great explanation. So why is it so hot in here? The AC is turning back on, so that's probably why. That or I have a fever It's coronavirus. No, it's just hot in here. The AC like literally just kicked on. Let's see, we'll throw that down. Yeah, double money bags is pretty good. You can run Skeleton Key into it's Egg Thief, Skeleton Key, double Cedric. Ends up working out pretty well. You just start getting Egg Thief rolling for a bunch of board clear. And then you Skeleton Key to Skeleton Key, and then you win. It also wins pretty deep. I believe you can use it up to like 100. Like if you wanted to use it for an entire Tuesday event, you could. It's not the quickest of teams, but it gains a lot of gold per battle. The increased gnome rate definitely is a thing. We definitely would not have 58 by now. If it was otherwise. Hey, gain a level there, nice. What do we grab here? Take that for now. Oh, I forgot to add up the gnome. 59. Four gem keys. Nice. You're at 124 gnomes and 11 Volkies. That's still pretty good. That's definitely not bad relative to the amount of gnomes. If you're around like 1 to 10 or 1 to 12, that's pretty good. And anything even more than that, or, you know, lower than that's even better. Or, you know, lower as in the number of gnomes to Volkey ratio. On PS4, seems gnomes are not showing up too often. Oh yeah, I have no clue if it might be glitched on console. I know it's working on PC mobile though. Console is always in a weird state. Mostly because a lot of the testing they do seems to be on PC side. Or PC mobile. Very little of it seems to be on console side. They do test it to some capacity. However, the betas are always on PC. And except for a few exceptions on mobile, but they're almost always on PC. And most of the game seems to be focused towards the PC mobile kind of side of testing things. So sometimes things might slip through the cracks on mobile console. So why does my arm hurt? Feels like I need to crack it, but can't crack it. Weird feeling. Does increasing the difficulty in vaults give better gnome drops? No. The difficulty button just a dated old feature from there that has no effect on it whatsoever. There's a possibility we will be getting a proper difficulty system added to gnomes into the future. It's one of the reasons why I'm hoarding all my keys, among other reasons, but mostly because of that. But it has no effect on it, difficulty that's currently there. So I'll always just do it on normal difficulty. I wish they would just remove it because it's really confusing. They're probably not going to remove it until they finally add a new feature for it, though. And who knows when they're going to do that. They've talked about it for like a year now, but however, they haven't mentioned it recently. If they ever have another Q&A, I'll probably bring it up to them and ask them. It's probably planned for this year, but they haven't made any mention of it yet this year, despite making mention of it last year. Could always maybe ask Salty on one of her streams, though she will probably be pretty indecisive with the answer. Let's see. There we go, 60. You know you want to do a Volkey. That's not a Volkey. How are we still only at 3? We're going to be at like 100 gnomes with only 4 Volkeys. Which compared to last week would have been like 11 Volkeys with the rate I was getting. Maybe all the Volkeys congregated over to the $2 pack. Ta. Because you can actually get 15 Volkeys this weekend with $10. It's actually the most amount of Volkeys you've ever been able to get in that shorter duration with money. It's actually probably the best flash offer they've ever had. I'm personally not going to be going for it, though. I think we have enough Volkeys, even though we still need more. We're sitting on like 150 something. I think we're at 152 right now, which I'm pretty sure that's exact. Yep, 152. That's what I thought. So we definitely don't necessarily need 15 more, but every little bit helps. Do you think the free market is better than socialism? I believe a healthy mix of both is good. There's things that the free market can't do that you would need some kind of external force to kind of help with. Because there's a lot of things that aren't necessarily profitable, but it's still good for society at whole. And I feel like other social programs and things like that is where it needs to step in, as well as government in those kind of situations. However, I believe the free market can do most things. However, there are limits to what the free market will do, because there's not monetary incentive to do quite a few things. And the free market generally will not act on things that do not have a direct monetary incentive. Ah, only 200 glory. That's unfortunate. What do we grab here? Take that for now. There's increase. Oh, that might have answered that one. Yeah, pretty much what Starlight said. I don't know. One of the biggest weird things with society right now, which I still don't understand, is the amount of money that we're spending on jails right now. It is actually cheaper to give someone completely free housing and healthcare and food than it is to jail them. I believe it's something like $3,000 to $4,000 per month between security and absolutely everything in order to jail someone. Yet if you just gave someone like $2,000 or $3,000 a year, I mean a month, you'd be spending less money, taxpayer money, and they'd be gaining more of a benefit. It's just really weird. It's one of the reasons why I'm so in favor of a $1,000 UBI, Universal Basic Income, because it would help with things like that. But I don't know, the jailing system in particular is like one of the most baffling things that society still has. Like obviously some people need to be in jail. There's definitely a lot of people that shouldn't be there. That's just racking up taxpayer money. I know, for-profit prisons are like one of the biggest conflicted interests I have ever heard of. Where basically they're incentivized to jail as many people as possible for as much profit as possible. Makes no sense. Yeah, we have a really big military-industrial complex. It's one of the reasons why I was in favor of Tulsi Gabbard as well. She's the one who's fighting the most for it. Mike Gravel was as well, but he was out before like the primaries barely even started. But Mike Gravel and Tulsi Gabbard are fighting for it the most. Tulsi Gabbard's still technically in the race, though. There are 3 people currently running. Tulsi Gabbard, who's polling at like 1%, even though she's arguably the best of the three. Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden. And of course, Trump on the Republican side. There's technically some other people still running on the Republican side who I have no clue who they are, because obviously Trump's going to win. Like, there's no way that he's going to be out-primaried by anything. I think the highest anyone who's running on the Republican side has gotten in any of the primaries so far has been like 15%. But due to how the Republican primaries are, whoever gets the majority gets all of the votes. Whereas on the Democratic side, you need to get like 15% to get any amount of delegates, and it has like a whole complex system. But on the Republican side for the primary, if you get the majority for a state, you just get all the votes. So obviously Trump is going to get all the votes for every single state in the primary. Because even if someone could contest them with like 30% in a state, that still gives them 0 votes, or towards getting them the nomination. Is Bloomberg still in? No, every single person has dropped out, except for Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, and Tulsi Gabbard. Bloomberg dropped out a couple days ago, and Elizabeth Warren did pretty much a day after Bloomberg or so. So it's currently a 3-person race. Those mainstream media keep saying it's only a 2-person race because they keep ignoring Tulsi completely. Like they've done the entire primary. And I was considering voting for her. My choices since the beginning were always Andrew Yang as 1, then Tulsi Gabbard as 2, and then Bernie as 3. I personally don't agree with a lot of things on Bernie, but his vision is enough that I don't know. It's as long like his healthcare plan is probably the main thing of why I would vote for him. More so than anything. Like a federal jobs guarantee and a few of his other plans I don't really agree with at all. But if he can fix healthcare, like if that's the only thing he could get done, I'd be happy with that. I'll do grab here. Take that for now. Yeah, American politics is really messed up. Mostly because we have bribery. Legal bribery. And as of recently, billionaires literally just trying to buy the election. Like Bloomberg. Which is pretty funny. They figured, why spend a bunch of money supporting candidates when they could just buy themselves into it? So apparently it failed. Luckily. Otherwise every billionaire would try doing it then. If they were actually successful with it. But yeah, he's still buying a lot in ads. He was buying like almost more than every other person combined when he was still in the race. I forget what the exact breakdown was, but it was some kind of absurd figure of millions. And by millions, I mean like hundreds of millions, almost a billion. I think he ended up spending like 600 million total or something. Some kind of absurd amount of money. Yeah, I am in favor of a Medicare for All system of some sort. Mostly because I know what it's like to not have insurance. Because I haven't for a couple years now. I'm still not 100% sure how I feel about completely getting rid of private, though. Because while his plan doesn't, like, 100% get rid of it, it gets rid of, like, most of them after, I believe, 4 years or something. It's not much of a phase-out period at all. And it might be a bit too rushed. But the overall plan I do approve of. Because it helps make sure that everyone's covered. And it covers more of the essentials. And it makes costs way, way lower. And while it does raise taxes, it nets lowers medical costs per year. And also makes sure you won't ever go bankrupt from medical costs. Which is a huge issue right now in the United States. But I know when I still had health insurance, I used to go to the doctors a lot more compared to when I didn't have it. I think the entire duration I was in college, I paid 0 actually for medical expenses, other than travel to and from. Which was pretty cheap because I normally just took the local bus that I already had a ticket for because of college. So I would just take the bus to most of those locations, assuming it was within the bus route. Yeah, the profit incentives of insurance companies is definitely very, very weird. And that they basically profit from killing people. Or at least not providing care. It's as weird as an incentive system as private persons, pretty much. It's very strange. There are some instances where private insurance can be useful for, though. When it's for more so cosmetic surgery and other various things that aren't actually needed procedures. But more so insurance for long-term kind of things that might not be necessary for survival. But when it's for things that are necessary for survival, it definitely doesn't make any amount of sense. Which is one of the reasons why I'm not for like 100% eliminating it. Because there are some areas of the medical field where you would still want it. Let's see, we'll take that for now. Yeah, I know even by state, healthcare systems can be quite a bit different. I know in New Jersey it was a lot better than in South Carolina. Yep, another gnome. Add that to our list. The other big issue is that poorer areas don't tend to have as many good doctors. Though the area that I'm in is cheaper. It's not necessarily a really poor area, though. It's actually probably one of the more expensive areas, oddly enough, of South Carolina. But there definitely are areas of that within various states. Where poorer areas basically have less healthcare coverage. Even if they literally have good insurance. Just because the doctors available aren't as good, or aren't as plentiful. Because they go to bigger areas that pay better. Which is a whole nother issue in itself. That even something like Medicare for All wouldn't fix directly. Because it's a whole separate issue. Yeah, I still find it funny that it's actually cheaper for me to go get an EpiPen. It's cheaper for me to go book a flight to Canada, get an EpiPen there, bring it across the border legally, and then have it than it would be to try to get one in the United States. It would actually come out to be cheaper to do all that. It'd be way more time consuming, but it'd be cheaper. EpiPen's at full retail price right now in America, or at least last time when I got it refreshed last year, later last year, it was $450 retail. I was able to get it cheaper though because I had no insurance, oddly enough. That's only the price that they end up doing for people that have insurance. But still, it's really expensive. And you have to get a new one every single year. And yeah, insulin's like, what, several hundred a month, I believe? Something pretty absurd. Your favorite Stormcaller team is Finesse, and Nimbus Bow. Oh, that's an interesting combo. Haven't really used Finesse too much since she got buffed, but ever since she got buffed about a year ago, she has been pretty viable. They end up increasing her, what did they end up increasing on her? They changed something that made her viable. I actually completely forget what it is now. I believe they did a full HP gain on it. I think our damage output might be the same, but they end up adding the HP gain, which end up making it so you can survive a bit better. But yeah, since her buff, she has been a bit better compared to prior. Oh, sorry, not finesse. I'm never mind. I was thinking of a different troop. Never mind. I was thinking of wow, I didn't even think of that troop. But yeah, triple finesse into Nimbus bow is pretty good. I ended up messing around with that a couple weeks ago. It's basically like a dwarven wall team. But yeah, it's that one guardian troop. My bad. I was thinking of that green purple troop. I actually forget her name right now. But yeah, the finesse is the new guardian one, the yellow one that does 6 mana all allies if there's a storm, and then does double damage, double if they're yellow. I was just confusing with something else for a second. But yeah, that works out pretty well. It has really high damage double pokes, and you can just keep spamming it over and over again to get a lot of damage cycle going. Yeah, Finessa was the troop I was thinking you were referring to. They both start with finesse, so I was like, oh, Finessa. Yeah, threw me off for a second. I just misread it. They're both really similar, so that confusion makes sense. Also, Bridget, are you doing, I know you were around a lot when we were doing, Stardew Valley. Are you doing, Animal Crossing when it comes out? Because we're going to be playing that quite a bit when it launches. And we'll probably be playing with some people on stream as well at some point. Probably not initially, but, you know, once we get the island going and everything. It's very similar to, Stardew Valley. That's coming out on the 20th, 13 days from now. Actually so hyped for it. How would you counter a finesse team? Anything that has a hard counter to yellow. If you can, like Grey King onto yellow, would just instantly obliterate that team. However, you can also just do anything that has a boost ratio against yellow and pretty much be fine. The Null troop that has triple damage against them would probably be pretty decent. Yeah, I haven't played Animal Crossing since the GameCube version. It's been like 15 years since I played Animal Crossing. So I have quite a bit of nostalgia for it. Though it's similar to other genres I like, so getting back into it. I feel like I did that with a lot of games on the Switch, just because I haven't been playing Nintendo games as much as of lately. Like with Pokemon, I didn't play it for like over a decade, when I finally got back to doing Sword and Shield for a little bit there. 7 Days to Die, never tried it before. Right now we've mostly been sticking with Gems of War. But I will be picking up Animal Crossing once it comes around. Probably for about the first month or so. Isn't it just like a modern version of Frogger? What game? I'm actually not sure what 7 Ways to Die is. I've heard of it. I completely forget what it is, though. At the top of my head. Hey, another gnome. Add it to our lists. Can you please stop dropping 20 jewels? Jewel Gnome is so bad. It, like, never drops diamonds. We have gotten, like, 10 of those gnomes, approximately, give or take, like, 1 or 2, were jewel gnomes of those 63. Every single drop was a 20 jewel drop. We have gotten 0 diamonds so far. And even if we did, I don't even need diamonds. But, still, the normal gnomes have given us more diamonds than the jewel gnomes. It's so weird. I hate that their diamond drop is so low. Like, you'd think it'd be relatively high, given that that's kind of their purpose. Oh, I see. I know what Frogger is, now that you say it that way. Because you were making a joke about it being Animal Crossing. Oh, your last jewel gnome dropped a Volkey, rubbing it in. I know that's its only good drop, is Volkey. Our jewel gnomes have been really bad this time around. Yeah, I never personally got into any zombie games before, for the most part. Not really a genre I really cared for. There were a couple games I tried. They were okay. Mostly indie titles. Grab that down for now. Hey, Volkey! And I did say that we'd hand out a redeem code at 5. So if we get one more Volkey, we'll hand out another redeem code. Already handed out one earlier. But there we go. That's a little bit more in progress. Still pretty low on Volkeys, though. But any amount is decent progress. And at 5, we'll hand out another code. We should be able to hit 5 to stream for sure. I sure hope we do. We might just have to keep streaming until we do get a 5th one. Yeah, I still have a lot of gifted games I still need to play. The problem is my game library, particularly on Steam, is just so many games I haven't played that I just never get around to them. There was another game that I actually got a little bit earlier too, a roguelike that I wanted to try that never got around to. It's called, not Towerfall. What's it called? It's, oh gosh, now I forget its name. It was an indie game that it was a indie roguelike that came out early last year. If that helps anyone try to figure out what game I'm talking about. I'll know it the second I see its title. Gosh, now I can't remember its name. But it seemed like a pretty fun one that I wanted to try. I still never got around to playing. It was also available on Switch, but I ended up just getting on the PC version. Gosh, I can't remember its name now. It's gonna bother me. Guess I could check Steam real quick and probably find it real quick. Let's see. Too bad you can't see based on what you recently bought. Slay Spire. That's the one I'm looking for. Slay Spire is one I've been meaning to play that I never gotten around to. Seems like a really fun roguelike. Been meaning to get more into roguelikes. Yeah, Slay Spire. Yep, Foro got it before I even said it. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about it. Never played it yet, though. Also, wish Darkest Dungeon 2 would finally come out as well. However, I have no clue what the development of that is like these days. I think it's planning for 2021, if I'm not mistaken. But I haven't really been following much info with it lately. Hey, no Gnome. Because that's actually a pretty good stream game as well. Most roguelikes do actually tend to be pretty good for that. Volky, go, please. No. All it keeps giving us is useless 20 jewels. Yeah, most of my gaming time does go to Gems of War. The main other game I probably play right now is probably Smash Ultimate. Though it's nice to get another relaxing game now with Animal Crossing, because I don't really have another relaxing game other than Gems of War. Prior to that, I kind of used Stardew Valley, but I don't play Stardew Valley currently these days. There we go, 66. Come on, Volky, or at least anything of value. 4,000 gold. Not that good. At least we got an arcane from the battle. Are there any news on the revamped Gems of War beta? Well, the patch is probably coming out this Monday, though no official date has been given. The patch will 100% have to be out by the 16th, because that's when the first event for the patch comes out. The Groshnock event, the one they previewed during the preview stream. Oh, nice, 1,000 glory. Best drop that thing has other than Volky. But, oh gosh, now I just lost my train of thought. But, no, they haven't really made any much changes to the thing. They've probably already sent it in, so it's probably just waiting for confirmation at this point, I would assume, the patch. So any changes have already been made. Starbound, Starbound, Starbound. I've heard of it. I forget if I've played it yet. I don't think I have. I'm pretty sure I own it. I just don't think I've played it. Sounds very familiar. Yeah, most of the beta tests, I haven't been able to test it as much as I've really wanted to and mess around with it. However, it only takes a few hours out of a single day to really get like a good feel for it. But to test absolutely everything, it would take way longer, but I haven't been doing that with most of the recent betas. But you also have to keep in mind, none of the progress you do during the beta is actually saved. So, you're basically just having fun seeing all the things beforehand, just kind of mentioning some things to them. So one of the reasons beta generally doesn't pick up as much either, as far as like glitches and stuff. It's mostly because obviously no one in the beta is actually being paid. And it takes a lot of time to actually find those kind of things. And since we don't get any kind of progress or anything out of it, we generally, or you know, most people wouldn't normally pick up on every single like thing that could possibly go wrong. Because normally we're just testing the newer features and giving feedback on it. Yeah, I've heard a couple good things about Subnautica. Isn't it like kind of like an underwater exploring kind of thing? Like and you have like a submarine base or something like that. Haven't actually played it before. I've heard it's pretty nice though. Animal Crossing is definitely taking my slot for a relaxing game though. Because that's not going to die out for a while. That game, like many of these similar ones, does eventually reach a point in endgame where it does a little bit. But it always has at least some amount of replay value. And they can always redecorate literally the entire thing. It kind of has like the same kind of replay value that Sims has. In that you can always just kind of revamp everything whenever you want and kind of change things up. We're still not even sure what kind of endgame content it has besides that, though. I know when Pokemon came out, it really lacked endgame content. Yeah, Sims is a lot of fun. I'm still holding out for Sims 5. I've actually completely skipped over Sims 4. How much I like a Sims game is based on how well you can make your own business. And I really hope they expand on that system for Sims 5. Because if I was to go play Sims 5, like literally all I would do is make a bunch of fun businesses. And hopefully they do more than just like the standard. I feel like Sims 2 did it pretty well. In that there was like a pretty wide range of things that you could actually do for your business. Whereas I feel like most of the other ones, though I didn't really play them as much, kind of made it so you could only really do a restaurant for the most part. Which, there's plenty of other things that you could do other than that. The most recent Pokemon games actually pretty easy to get level 100s due to dens. There's also a guarantee level up candy thing that can be farmed a little bit if you really want to be paranoid about leveling. But I believe the best way to level in the current Pokemon is just doing dens, particularly tier 5 dens, and just cycle through them. Because they go pretty quick and give a lot of XP. You basically just use candy up to like 90. Like the EXP candy, and then you use rare candies for the last like 9 to 10 levels. But I feel like this most recent Pokemon game is actually the quickest to 100 of any of the games. I think you can 1 hour level 100 almost any Pokemon. It's actually a pretty quick cycle compared to past games. Might be a little bit longer than an hour, but still pretty quick. Yeah, that is one of the kind of funny things about Animal Crossing. Is you're always kind of in debt to Tom Nook in some way, shape, or form. And technically, completion of the game, as far as like standard completion, is when you finally pay back Tom Nook for everything related to your house. And in this case, for your flight and your house. For the new Animal Crossing. But there's a bunch of other... There's plenty of other objectives to do, too. Like filling out the museum. Getting every single item in the game. obviously decorating out your town. There's normally a relationship of specific items that you can get as well, and other various things like that. There's no marriage in Animal Crossing, though. Sarah and Fate, what is that? I haven't heard of that. Sounds like an RPG. I heard some people are pretty hyped about Final Fantasy VII coming out. Isn't that early next year? Or not next year, next month, I mean. I believe it's April 10th, 16th. I saw advertisement for it. Actually looks pretty good. I'm not sure if I'm going to get it yet. I haven't played any Final Fantasy game yet, and I would want to know the optimal order for playing them all before I ever got into them. Because I have yet to play a single Final Fantasy. I feel like when I start it, I'm going to do all of them. It's going to be like a year-long project. But I do eventually want to play every Final Fantasy that there is. But I want to do it in whatever's considered the optimal order for doing so. Whenever I do get into it, rather than doing one and kind of going out of order. Why? Does it take longer than a year to run all of them? Well, I'd probably play enough that I could. But I heard each one is, like, long. Like, very long. What do I even grab here? I'll take that for now. Grab our blue. We're weighing them down. Dead. About 200 to 300 each. Oof. That's a lot of times. And there's how many Final Fantasies? Isn't it over a dozen? It would probably take 2 to 3 years. Well, a lot of them got HD remakes. Though I don't think all of them have one yet. But it's kind of slowly making HD remakes of all of them. That's the other problem, too. I don't even think there's a single platform where every single one of them is available. They're all scattered on a bunch of different platforms all over the place. Can you play them all on PC? Okay, that's nice then. Come on, where's our last little bit of mana? Where are you? We need it. There we go. Hey, you're using an emulator. Cheater! Actually, I was considering getting a thing off of Amazon that has the capability of acting like any amiibo. I've been considering it. It has like the ability to save like any kind of amiibo save data to it. You can just get them all from online. Because I'm not sure if I'll need it for Animal Crossing. And even if I don't end up needing it for Animal Crossing, there's probably other games I'd want to use it for, like Smash and stuff like that. I actually have a friend that has every amiibo in existence. Although he keeps them all in cabinets, so it'd be annoying to use them that way. Actually looks really nice. He has like 2 whole walls covered with just amiibo. It's pretty funny. There's a lot of them. There's like several hundred. Not sure what the exact count is on them. Let's see, we'll grab that. Not to mention, Animal Crossing likely has compatibility with those old amiibo cards that they had as well, which a lot of people don't own. And they're probably hard to get their hands on. So using something like that would be a lot more efficient of a method. Let's see. I'll take that for now. What kind of gnomes can you give to your vault keys? Wait, what? I read that wrong. What kind of gnomes can give you vault keys? All of them. Every single gnome in the game drops vault key. There's not a single one that doesn't. And they'll drop it higher during a vault event. Also, welcome, Barbara. Welcome. Also, what is with this loading screen? Let me restart. We haven't restarted since we been going. We've been going for 2 hours. The more games you do, the more it tends to lag when you win very quickly like that. So let's just restart the game. You should probably do that like every single hour when you're doing explore grinding, even in general. It's because it does lag as you keep winning quickly. This game's always had that issue. It's less of an issue compared to how it was in the past. However, it's still an issue nonetheless, that if you win a lot of games very quickly, the game doesn't really know how to react, and it starts getting slower and slower. And it has to do with how packets are sent or something. That's been an issue always with the game. Less so these days, but still an issue nonetheless. Easiest way to fix it is just restart the game real quick. Yes, even pet gnomes drop vault keys. Actually, one interesting thing about pet gnomes is they're the only gnome in the game that if you get a vault key, you still get their normal drop. So if you were to get a pet gnome, and you would have gotten a pet drop for your guild, as well as one white pet food, you would get the vault key, the pet drop, and the 1 white pet food. It's the only gnome in the game where its drop still applies even if you get the vault key. With every other gnome, the vault key replaces their drop, whereas with pet gnome, you get both the normal pet gnome drop and the vault key itself. It's the only gnome that has that interaction. However, every gnome does drop vault key. Let's see. I'll grab that for now. Get a Ruane down. You missed the vault event last year that had the higher rate of gnomes keys. Yeah, there was one a gnome event last year that had a 5 times rate rather than the 3 times rate. For any of you that don't know, a normal vault event has a 3 times higher chance for gnomes, finding gnomes, as well as a 3 times higher chance for vault keys, which means effectively you technically have a 9 times higher chance for vault keys, technically, since both the vault key drop rate and the gnome drop rate is increased. However, they had one event where it was 5 times and 5 times once. It was because they were supposed to do something else, and then it got canceled, and then they were like, oh, let's just do a better vault event then to make up for it, and that's what they did. It's the only time they ever did a bigger vault event, where it was more effective than a normal vault event. They've only ever done it once last year. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Because you were getting gnomes like what feels like almost every battle, and like multiple vault keys an hour. It's a really great event. That's a lot of Cascade. We even got a map out of it. The only series I think I have every game from is Mario Party. But the only exception is I don't have the Wii U ones because I skipped over Wii U. I can't think of any other game series where I have every single game from the series other than Mario Party. I don't believe there's any other series in existence I have every game from. And technically even Mario Party I don't. Just because Wii U is like the most irrelevant console that they've ever done, ever. The entire time Wii U was out, I just did PC gaming instead. I'm glad they brought it back with Switch actually being decent. Yes, I believe it was a delayed delve because there was some kind of issue with the delve or something. I believe it was Stone Song Eerie, if I'm not mistaken. There was some kind of issue with Stone Song Eerie that prevented them from doing it when they were supposed to. So they did a better vault event instead. I'm pretty sure it was Stone Song Eerie. Yep, another one, 71, making progress. And as I mentioned, that next vault key, we will hand out another code. And then we'll have another one tonight. Oh, there's Volky. How convenient. There we go. Unfortunately, it was off a Glory Gnome, which I say unfortunately because the Glory Gnome has the best drops. And getting Volky on it's not a waste, but it's if you were to get it on any gnome, it's like the worst one to get it off of because you're getting one less good drop because everything it has is good. Oh well, still Volky nonetheless. Anyways, I did say we'd hand out code literally just seconds ago, so let's go hand out a code. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? This one should be the right one. Put that right over here. Put that right over there. Put that there. Copy, paste, refresh. Paste it again, so we can go paste the whole thing. Copy, copy, paste, paste, and here it go. There's the redeem code used on gemsofwar.com. Read the game code section. Your invite code can be found underneath your settings menu. Whatever your game says in the bottom left corner right over there is what you put in for your invite code. Redeem code's right over there in chat. Just copy, paste the random letters of UV, DO, and all those others. And give the same reward as always: 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, and 2,500 gold. Enjoy, everyone! Make sure to use it as it only has a few hundred claims. And even though we have less than that many viewers, it does get shared with guilds and things, so do make sure to use it in the next few minutes if you can, as you'll get all that loot for free, which is basically like getting 2 gnomes as far as their overall drops. There we go. Anyways, still in the gnome grind, so let's keep going. That will be the last redeem code of the stream, though. We'll have another one tonight. And of course, tonight's stream's in about 6 hours from now, like PM Standard Time as we do every night. I'll probably go for about another hour right now or so. I kind of want to go for 100 this stream. However, 100 could take anywhere from 1 hour to like 3 hours, depending on how lucky or unlucky these gnomes want to be. We'll definitely get 100 by the end today, most likely. And probably aim to get about the same amount that we got last time. How many did we get last time again? How many did we get last time, actually? I think it was like a 110. Anything above 100 I'd be happy with. But, it was 117 is how many we got last time. Yeah, in that amount, we got 14 Volkies. And right now, we're half of that and only have 5. Which means we're 2 Volkies down compared to that. Which is not good. Oops, my thing just fell. Or not fell, but let me bring that back up. The menu for keeping track of gnomes went away. There we go. It didn't visually go away, but it went away in that it wasn't selected anymore. Wait, what am I not going to see? Sorry, what did I miss? Let's see. Oh, sorry, Exos. What was your question? Let's do it a 4th time. Is the Urwain farming team you're currently using faster than the level 5 Phoenicia one? Yes. You wonder what the count will be at the end of the day? Probably about 100. But yes, this team is quicker than Phoenicia. And the main reason for that is you can extra turn off of, or sorry, you can full mana off of 4 times, 5 times. Whereas Phoenicia can normally only get it off of 1 5 times. And the other reason is because you have a lot less mana to accumulate. With Phoenicia, you need 12. With Rowan, you only need 6. But yes, Rowan is quicker than Phoenicia. You probably get another 10 to 20 battles in per hour by doing this team compared to Phoenicia team. Possibly even a bit more. Because Phoenicia team tends to average about 3 wins per minute. Whereas this team can average up to 4 wins per minute if you go quick enough. Both of them are still good to do if you want to go farm trophies. But this team is faster. It's the fastest in the entire game to what I'm aware of. I'm not aware of anything quicker than this. Like, it's kind of hard to be quicker than this. You just, like, instantly win every battle. And if we get 4 times, 5 times green, we go to instant kill without even needing to touch the board beyond that. Oops, I thought that was extra turn for green. It is not. Yes, some kingdoms do allow you to one-shot Explore 6. That actually is possible in some kingdoms. Not every kingdom, though. And you would also have to have really, really high magic. Oh, another gnome. Add it to our stack of gnomes. 72. Please drop a Volky. You have yet to give us any good drop. At least give us diamonds. Let me know that you can actually drop diamonds. Because it seems like you can't. You just keep giving jewels. And there's another 20 emeralds. Useless jewels. Hello, Chad. Welcome. A nice free turn green. And dead. If anyone else has any other questions, do let me know as well. If I missed anything. Did you peek at Adventure Board? Yes, we have 4 brown deeds today. We've been getting deeds like almost every day recently. We've been really getting showered with deeds. No purple ones, unfortunately, though. But a lot of green. If you haven't already gotten Zolkari max, definitely make sure to do so. Just within like the last 2 weeks, you've almost gotten enough green just to max it. Got an absurd amount of green lately. Got like a mythic one, a legend one, and a normal rarity one, if I'm not mistaken, within the last week. For green. Hey, 1,000 glory, nice. It's one of the reasons why you don't normally want to get Volkies on glory gnomes. All of our drops are amazingly good. Oh, looks like we're getting a gnome cluster. We should like trademark that, the gnome cluster. The thing that happens when you go like dry on gnomes for like 10 minutes of times. Or gosh, even he dropped a better diamond rate than Jewel Gnome. The gnome cluster is when you go like dozens of minutes without getting a single gnome, and then you just get like a bunch of gnomes at once. The gnome cluster seems to do that a lot. Oh, next turn's there, so let's go explode it all. Get our splitty splits, and he's down. Minutes? You must be super unlucky because you went almost an hour with no gnomes. Oh yeah, that would be super, super unlucky. I think generally the longest you would ever go is about 15 minutes or so. And then you got 5 in a row. Wow. Yeah, about 20 minutes I feel like is about the longest I would really go without one. Assuming you're winning at 3 to 4 wins per minute. Really? What a bad board. Let's take that, I guess. And then kill it out with that. Streamers buying stuff to get mythics? Not sure what you mean by that. But mythics can be obtained through free-to-play methods within this game. And all the resources that we have are obtained through free... come on! It finally gave us a different drop and it was 200 shards. That's his other really useless drop. I'm not sure why all of its drops are so useless. But, we obtain everything for free, basically, these days through in-game resources. I haven't spent money on this game for, like, 2 years now? Well, actually, that's not true. When the Switch version launched, I spent $70 on it, just so we can get a bit of a head start, because it was a brand new game economy. But, aside from that, I haven't spent any money specifically on this account for like 2 years, if you don't count the Switch release. Oh, you're doing the sacrificial priest soul farming team. Nice. That's an interesting combo. Hey, gem key. Not the key we're looking for, but still a good key. Oh, there's our gnome cluster. Do you have a vault key? Previous guy gave us a gem key. And you have no key. Just some gold. Up, there's our gnome cluster. 3 in a row. It's the exact same gnome too. Different drop each time. Do you want to give us a Volky? Nope, gold again. Okay, so not a different drop that time. Gem key and 2,500s. Another gnome? Go. Nope. We have lost our gnome cluster. I really don't understand why they sometimes cluster like that. And by sometimes, I mean always. Like, they almost always cluster, it feels like. Must be something weird with the coding. You don't have a Mirage Queen? What's the fastest troop team you can put together to use both in raids and farming, taking consideration no mythic? What do you mean, for low-level battles? Like a team like this, but for without Mirage Queen, basically? Well, you can still run this team without it. And just run either one of those things that give 5 to all stats for green or blue to give Rowan additional damage. Or you can even just run a Greed or Leprechaun. When running a Greed or Leprechaun into this exact same team, over top of Mirage Queen, you would get a higher amount of gold. Like, particularly if you use Greed. You could do Greed and you use Leprechaun and then you get a bunch of gold. Ends up helping out quite a bit. Because you can max out your gold every single battle. So instead of getting like the gold that we're getting right now, which is, what are we even getting right now per battle? I'm not even sure what it comes out to. If loading screen would ever get there. But we'd be getting probably about 200 more gold per battle if we were actually using Greed in last slot. And then we just cast him, cast Leprechaun, cast Rowan, and ideally we'll have full mana. And you still get Mana Star even without it. Without Rowan, I mean without Mirage Queen, you get 20% Mana Star if you use the metal for it, assuming you have an Anu metal. Which would bring her a little bit lower on mana. It would only be 2 instead of 6, but it's still some amount of starting mana. But yeah, if we'd probably be hitting 1,000 gold per battle in Explore 3 if we were using Greed instead. It would only take like a second extra per battle to cast them to get that extra 200 or so gold. However, it would make some battles go slower due to lack of mana on Rowan. Yeah, Mirage Queen is somewhat easy to get as well. Though some people like prioritizing some of the other things like truffles and stuff first. Yeah, Mirage Queen is from Sunken Fleets. If you throw a couple hundred shards there, you're likely to get it. Almost guaranteed to get it if you throw 1,000 shards there. And that might sound like a lot, but you can get 1,000 shards in under a week by doing daily factions. And then just trade its first trait and use a small orange on the other two, or trade all 3 if you have the traits for it already. Gnomes travel in groups to protect their treasure. It's dangerous out there, I know, right? They carry so much treasure. It definitely would be dangerous. Everyone wants their vault keys. Not sure why I did that. I was kind of like hoping I'd randomly get a green or blue there. Would have been just better to go for Leprechaun. I'll throw that down for now. I keep taking those extra turns away. I don't need to. It's wasting seconds. Precious seconds of grind. Oh, another one of those. You know you want to do Volky. A Jewel Gnome sometime this weekend will give us a good drop. I know it. It's only a matter of time. It's like the 13th one. What are you going to give us? Useless. Once again, you have yet to give us a good drop. It has given us 0 Volky drops and 0 Diamond drops so far. The Jewel Gnome. And we've gotten 13 or 14 so far. Ugh. Not only a Cedric. Come on, drop us more than that. You're allowed to give us 2 on these. Don't just give us 1. Spent the wee hours in the morning trying to get no gnomes or Volkies. Aww. That can happen. Most of my farm this weekend has all been on stream. And our luck has definitely been below average, as you guys can see by our numbers. We're almost at 80 at least for gnomes founds. Anything above 100 I'll be happy with this weekend. And ideally we'll hit closer to 8 Volkies. Still got a little ways to go on that though. I do like generally hitting for at least 10 if we can. But this does seem to be a bit of an unluckier weekend for us. But it only takes 1 really good hour to make that go back up. Though also we could just get super unlucky hours as well to make it go down. Also, what a bad board right now. There we go. And dead. What is the best King Gobtruffle team? The best King Gobtruffle team is Forest Troll, double King Gobtruffle into Warden Hero class using Doomed Glaive. The other variant of it, if you don't have the Doomed Glaive or the Warden level to 70, is Forest Troll, double Gobtruffle into Mirage Queen. It serves a very similar purpose, but it's cheaper. Because it doesn't require a Doom weapon and does not require Warden being 70. However, the Doom weapon with Warden is stronger. But Mirage Queen still gets very similar value. Also gets the half mana start the entire team, which is something that the other variant does not do. However, with the other variant, you have Green Storm and you have Dispel. And you also have a better weapon compared to what, even though it has a really similar cast on Mirage Queen, it's still better using a Doom weapon because you get the full AoE with it too, which obviously synergizes with the full AoE of Gobtruffle. And its spell is very useful because it gets rid of Submerge, so that your full AoE can actually hit everything. Because there is a decent amount of Submerge in factions, and that hard counters full AoE that Gobtruffle has. And while you can skull spam through it with something like Mirage Queen, it is best to have the spell off of something like Warden Hero class to get through. You can also do it off Doomed Glaive to hit through, but it still goes quicker having that spell. Not to mention, if you extra turn immediately off of a Doomed Glaive cast and extra turn off of the skulls, your AoE will hit the submerged enemies because the Dispel will take effect prior to the calculation for the full AoE damage. So you can get both done simultaneously with that setup. So you can dispel them off the extra turn skull and then do the full AoE damage off their removed Submerge. This is a nice interaction. What do you think about this team? Mang, Valkyrie, Moira. Wait, what's Moira? And Deep Borer. What is Moira again? I actually completely forget what that is. Also, Deep Borer or your mana generator in general normally is not put in the last slot. I feel like whatever that Moria troop is might want to go to last. Also, you might not need both Valkyrie and the Deep Borer. You might just need one or the other. I forget what troop that is that you're mentioning, though. Oh, so hello, Haley. Welcome. What am I doing? I need to go grab mana here. Big shuffle. I'll grab that and kill it out. Oh, green of Doom Skulls. What colors does it actually use then? I guess I could end up working with the mana accumulators then. And just do Mang to Skull spam then. You'd most likely still want your Deep Borer in front of it though. Just so it can tank a little bit and also because it feeds mana back into it. So you'd most likely want to have your Deep Borer in your third slot then. And basically just switch it with the your damage source. And the only exception to that would be if they have something that hits last slot. But most teams do not carry something that can hit last slot. Though it is a mechanic that exists in the game, of course. Yeah, why do I completely forget what that troop is? It must be one of those old event troops. Pretty sure that was what it was from, wasn't it? Yeah, that's exactly what it is. The Doom. It's the raid for Droxium. That makes sense. I was gonna say, because why did I completely forget about it? It's because it's one of the raid evasion troops. I don't ever bother remembering those because they're normally irrelevant after their first week. However, she's one of the few exceptions to that. Like, she does have a pretty decent convert for low mana cost. There are a few exceptions here or there, but most of them tend to be pretty bad. She's not one of them, though. Yeah, she's one of... Actually, I believe she is the cheapest Doomskull convert in the game, which is relevant. I don't recall any Guild War teams that use her, though. I think I might have used it for one composition, but didn't care for it much. The troop in general, I don't really care for much, is probably why I don't. Because there's two other options that do the same thing. Doomed Club and Mirage Queen. Also, we finally hit 80 on as far as gnomes. Progress. It's great against Zugov teams. Is it? Well, I guess because you can get it rolling before the enemy. I don't feel like most Zugov teams use green, though, unless you're using it with a Wild Queen composition. Because normally a Zugov team would feed mana directly into him, of which none of his colors are green. However, if it's used with Wild Queen, it does use a lot of green to counter out with a Doomskull convert. Come on, where are all those clusters of gnomes hiding? We need to go find a cluster. Oh, you meant it's good against it in that regard. Yeah, that makes sense. I was going to say, as far as countering out its actual ability, it wouldn't. But yeah, it does get multiplier on it. It's pretty much a free instant Zugov kill. I didn't realize that's what you meant. I thought you meant that in like a color way. Because very rarely would its color or convert actually help against Zugaf. But yes, its one-shot will be able to one-shot Zugaf. It has 5 times multiplier on it, which will kill Zugaf in pretty much every PvP-related situation. Which includes Guild War. I don't feel like Zugaf is used much in Guild War Defend, though. Like, I probably only see it a few times a week, if at all. Not to mention it would have to be on a blue or brown day. Because that's their colors. Tom Nook has plans on March 20th. Shipping us to an island in debt. And then making us work it off by collecting things for him. I still don't understand how he gets away with that every single time. I wonder what the background lore for the game is in that regard. He's almost like a loan shark in that regard. Like a really, really nice loan shark. Because he managed to find a way to put millions of people into debt. Constantly. Over and over again. It's basically like a debt simulator game. He's a raccoon shark. Oh, good. We got a free extra turn right there. Nice. I do not see Jarvise with Zugaf that often in Guild Wars, oddly enough. At least at my level range, anyways. I see it a lot in PvP, but I don't see it in Guild Wars that often. But anything that's popular in PvP tends to be popular in Guild Wars. But I personally don't see it in Guild Wars. So I guess that's kind of a good thing. Because Jarvise into Zugaf is a bit annoying. Just because it has a lot of resummon into high damage output. Even if you were to rush kill the Zugaf, it's just going to get resummoned. Also, I did not get as much sleep last night as I did on Friday. Hey, for once, my Thursday into Friday was actually really relaxing. Like, I wasn't tired at all, as you could probably tell from the previous stream. But, today was not the case. Let's see, grab that, get our Wayne down. Get a random map that we don't need to add to our collection of... How many maps do we have? Gosh, too many. 20,390 maps. We need to go out, open a map shop. We don't even need to, like, paint walls. We can just use the wallpaper of maps and just cover every single wall we ever have with maps. We can go make a whole kingdom out of maps. Let's make a map kingdom and make every single building entirely out of maps. We're probably going to have something to use the maps for in the future. Hopefully we get a mass use option. It's been asked for multiple times in the past. Because the amount of hours we'd have to spend to use all the maps I have right now is some amount of time I would not want to do. It is several hundred hours. And I don't think I'd be able to survive several hundred hours of maps. In totality, I've probably played maps for longer than that. But I would not want to do it again. Not unless the reward got really, really good. Which it likely wouldn't happen. Otherwise, it would outweigh a lot of other locations in the game. It already technically has the best gem rate in the entire game for infinite farming. So they have to be really careful when they tweak it. because it's technically already decent value to some capacity. Its biggest issue is that it's not really as worth it later in the game compared to Tribute and working towards Tribute objectives. And the fact it doesn't give any XP or anything like that's also a bit of an issue with it. Then the fact that it doesn't incentivize you to actually play the map properly. It incentivizes you to rush through it as quickly as possible, which makes for a really weird play style for it. Hello, Gamora. Any troops you think of that have full mana start that would run quicker than Rowan team? No, mostly because they're all single target stuff for the most part. And they would damage at a much slower rate than instantly killing everything. Dust Devil used to. At one point, you could double Dust Devil cast to win a battle. However, that was quickly nerfed. Actually, it was around the time I started the channel, around 4 years ago. Around 4 years ago, when Empowered Dust Devil was a thing, he used to have damage based on magic. And there was one point where he could double cast to kill the entire enemy team without ever touching the board. You just cast Dust Devil 1. In some battles, you just cast it 3 times or even 4 times. It would instantly win out a battle. That is not the case anymore, obviously, because they removed his damage down to 5 static. And now every single Empower is just like single target stuff for the most part, which is a lot slower than killing everything simultaneously. But of course, you can still use a mana accumulation into one of those things, which is what we do. Leprechaun into Rowan. Gives us some gold, gives full mana Rowan, and then we instant kill off of the AoE split. There's no Empower that actually does that anymore, ever since they nerfed that 4 years ago. So it's been a while since that's been a thing. And this is the closest thing to that because it's still a double cast. It's just not double Empower, it's just a single Empower into a different troop. What difficulty am I playing at? Explore 3. Have you started since a lot? I'm not sure what you mean by that, but we started when the game first launched 5 years ago in late 2014. November 2014 is when we started, which is when the game launched. We've been playing for a while, 5 years now. Or 5 years and 4 months. And our channel's been going for 4 years. Or it'll be 4-year mark as of April 23rd, I believe it is the 4-year mark of this channel. And we've come so far since then. And I greatly appreciate all of your guys' continued support. Really helps out a lot. Is there a way to tell which deeds go to which kingdoms other than just the trial search and error? Well, you look at the screen and you can see what deeds they go to underneath the page. That are just kind of knowing what color they are. But if you go under the kingdom menu and you go under to level, you can see what color it is. So you can see that this one is green. And you can just do that for every single kingdom. So we can go under here, see that this one is yellow, so on and so forth. But you can also kind of memorize them, like brown, blue, brown, yellow, purple, so on and so forth. But yeah, the easiest way is just to check their menu, go to level, and you can just see what they are. If that's what you're referring to. I'm not sure if you can see that link. No, I cannot see a link if you posted a link. That I cannot, unfortunately. What were you trying to link to? Anyways, let's go back to Zacian. Oh, what class am I using for this? You use whatever hero class you want to level. Right now, I'm currently trying to level up Stormcaller, so I'm using Stormcaller. However, that's not a good clear class to use with this team. However, I just want free XP towards it. Doesn't really matter what class you use. Just use whatever one you want to feed XP towards. Right now, I'm trying to get Stormcaller up. And we're at 90 right now. Making progress. Still a little ways away, though, from 100. But we're getting there. Oh, Starlight was posting a link to that website that had it all. Why are links blocked? YouTube auto blocks links unless they're a moderator. I guess I can make Starlight a moderator real quick. Hold up. Where's the option for it? Add moderator. Okay, Starlight, you're a moderator now. Click refresh and post your link. I think you'll need to click refresh for it to take effect. Yeah, go click refresh on the stream and then post your link. Should be able to. Oh, never mind. Isabel beat you to it. Though you're normally around, Starlight, I might just leave you as a moderator. Welcome to the moderator team. You have now become moderator. As long as moderators don't abuse their power. Let's see, we'll take that for now. But yeah, YouTube has a weird thing. There's not even an option to turn it on. It auto blocks all links from anyone who isn't a moderator. Unless you're the person that owns the channel or are a moderator, you cannot post links in chat. And they mostly just do that for bot protection. But there's not even an option to enable it, which is kind of weird. Is there a way to play Gems of War from Linux? I do not know. It technically does not have official Mac or Linux support. However, I have heard people play it on Linux in the past, so I'm not sure what kind of setup they did to try to make it work. But no, I do not know the answer to that. I know they do not officially support Linux or Mac. They only support PC. As far as personal computers are concerned, or you know, they only they only support Windows as far as PCs are concerned. But I think there might be a workaround through it because I have heard people play it on Linux before. Hello, Falsimilin. Let's see. You just finished Truffle's Delve, the 500 Pure faction. Can you name 2 more easy delves to work on? Crypt, if you haven't already done it. It has instant kill that you can use. It's really luck-based, however, one of the easier ones, if you can get lucky. It does take multiple attempts to get lucky. However, all it takes is one really lucky run to get it pretty much done with any amount of stats. People have done it as low as level 100 on it. And other than that, what's the other one? Probably Stonesong Eerie. It's a bit of an annoying faction, however, similar to that of Crypt, if you haven't already done it. It has instant kill option. So you can end up doing a lot of good mana accumulation, outpace the enemy, mana drain them down with the mana drain option that you have with Harpy, and then keep trying to attempt instant kill chances on them. However, do keep in mind both of those are extremely luck-based and probably are harder than that of Amithrax, which is the kingdom that you just did, or the faction that you just did. Well, Seeing Eye and Primal Rift can also be done without potions. Primal Rift is really annoying. I have heard people mention that you can do it without potions. I've tried it. I am not a fan of doing that place without potions. All Seeing Eye, you could. You just need to get really lucky with skull spam. I feel like even more so than instant kill. Because it only takes the enemy getting a little bit lucky to just obliterate you with skulls. Also, nice. 1,000 glory drop again. Oh no, Jewel Gnome. Please drop Valky. You have yet to give us anything good. This is like our 16th one and you still haven't given us a good drop. Prove me wrong. You have not proven me wrong. Yeah, I would not advise leveling up City of Thieves. However, yes, if you're running City of Thieves for pure faction, you can get quite a bit of a benefit from having a Cedric room due to gold boost ratio towards your legends. If you give that to him, he's going to be able to obtain absurd amount of stats after doing the Cedric room. The only slight issue you want to worry about, though, is the order of your team, because it likely will get shuffled by the end of that battle to some capacity. Okay, we got some man over here. Take that right into that. No, the explosion! You ruined it! Explosion, why? I don't feel like Cedric would kill you, but he would reorder your team in a way that he might cause you to lose a following battle. Because you can't really delay the battle. You have to kill him as quickly as possible as you're going through the battle. And you would do it off a full AoE, because you can't target him directly due to stealthy. You'd use, what's her name? That one, Legend from the Kingdom to hit it. Or sorry, not that one. I was thinking of, gosh, I was thinking of Stone Song Airy. Wait, how would you hit it? Never mind. You'd have to skull spam it really quickly. Oh yeah, that might be a little bit annoying to deal with. I forgot, nothing in City of Thieves actually has a way of targeting it directly. Because you only have skull spam and single target, both of which do not work on Cedric because he's last slot and he can't be targeted. However, if you had enough skull spam, you can just keep skull spamming until you win. Well, the biggest issue is once you get moved, you can't really wait it out. Because between his charm and his skulls, you're not going to be able to wait out his ability. Like, there's no way you could wait out 4 casts on him. You would die before then. Or at least something on your team would die. Not your entire team. So you have to kill him before he ever casts once. With enough skull spam luck, you could. Yeah, it is a bit risky. There you just have to deal with a slightly different order. Or just kind of prepare your team ahead of time. If you see a Cedric in play, for when you're doing Pure Faction City of Thieves and you know you're going to go for it, reorder your team so that 1 Cedric cast or 2 Cedric casts will not ruin you. So when you finally get around to that battle, which is the second battle of the Delve, you'd be able to go and set up your team properly for the final battle. Or the final 2 battles, I should say. Because Cedric room cannot be in a place where it would advance you to the final battle. All 3 of the treasure rooms that are guaranteed that Cedric can appear in City of Thieves do not lead towards the final boss room. So it's a whole additional battle you'd have to go out of your way for. However, the benefit is pretty much auto win for final battle. It's not like auto win automatically, but it's almost guaranteed. If you can secure a level 500 Cedric room for pure faction for City of Thieves, you pretty much won the final battle, as long as you can keep the legend into the final battle with at least 1 other troop. Ideally a full team, but that's the minimum. Because he would gain the most amount of benefit from having the extra gold, since he gains stats based on that extra gold. And he would basically just gain enough stats to not die, essentially. Or at least ideally, anyways. Hello, Frank Vaki. Welcome. Let's see. Hall of Guardians. Need level 14 Whitehelm. Crypt Keepers, Sea of Sorrows also. But level 14 Merlantis. You did with 12. But Treasure Hoard 250. Yeah, the 14s on Kingdoms can be pretty helpful for actually getting them done. I haven't been doing that for too many of them. But it gives quite a substantial amount of stats. Like, doing a 50% into a 200, that is basically 300 delve level. It's pretty nice. Even into just 100, it's a 150. And even just getting 25% into something like a 200, it's still pretty nice. It's basically 50 extra levels for free. Or not for free, but, you know, for the upgrade. Yeah, Double King of Thieves is safer. I can't remember if for the Monday video, I mentioned only 1. But I believe I might have actually ran it with 2. I think I initially did it with double skull spam, but ended up going to double legend, just to make sure he didn't die. I can't actually recall the way I actually ran it for the final one. I know it's either double the legend into mana generator into skull spam, or you can go legend, skull spam, mana generator, skull spam. Either of those two compositions work. Which one is better depends on what you kind of feel like works out better for your own playstyle. Yeah, double legends could be pretty useful in that if you feel like you're dying a lot on your legend, you want to make sure, guarantee you bring at least one of them into the final battle. And if you find he's dying too much, you might want to double up on him. It would also allow you to get stats on the second one for the final battle, assuming they're both alive. And that the first one dies a meat shield. So that once the first one dies as a meat shield, your second one will pretty much have all the stats it needs to win. Did we ever get level 91 yet? No, we've not. Should be pretty close. Yep, we're getting there. Very close. Very, very close. We might actually get Stormcaller to 100 this weekend. We're getting there. Let's see, we're level 91 pretty much. Let's see, what's 96 times 9? What's the math on that? That's, why is my head not working properly? It's 800 and something. Gosh, why can't I not do that math? That's actually pretty simple. My brain doesn't want to work right now. Yeah, 96 times 9. It's 800 and 860. Right? Yeah, somewhere around there. 864 divided by 180. Whatever that comes out to. Let me just calculate it. Let's see. It comes out to about 5 hours. I'm not sure why that was being so weird. But yeah, 864. So I was right. Yay. And that takes a little under 5 hours. Here's how much more grind we'd have to do into this to get Stormcaller to max. So we're getting there. Definitely not doing all that this stream. And so I'm even considering stopping soonish. And picking up tonight. Aside from Crypt Keeper, can Pure Faction 500 be done without buying power potions? Yes. Several factions can do it with enough luck. Stonesong Eerie, Primal Rift, All-Seeing Eye, and Crypt, of course. And I believe that's it. Those 4. Or wait, did I mention 4 or 5? No, those 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait. 1, 2. Never mind, that's 4. Never mind. But yeah, those 4 can be done with enough attempts with only level 100 delve and enough luck. However, they take a lot of luck to actually get done. But all 4 of them are probably the easiest 4 to do. And that's All-Seeing Eye, Crypt, Stonesong Eerie, and Primal Rift. And I would say Crypt is the absolute easiest of those 4. Oh, and Amethyrax. I forgot. And Amethyrax. So there's 5. I was right. There's 5. I just forgot what the other one was. But all of them require a lot of luck. With Amethyrax, it requires you to get basically infinite off of truffles, which is possible with just truffle alone, 4 truffles. For Crypt, you need to get lucky off of instant kill chance. Off Stonesong Eerie, it's the same premise, but a little bit different. For All-Seeing Eye and Primal Rift, it's a relatively similar premise in that you're basing everything off of skull spam, and you have to out-skull spam the enemy while using your summons, because both of them have summons and both of them have skull spam. So yeah, those two use the same one. All-Seeing Eye and Primal Rift use the same strategy of skull spam into summons. Crypt and Stonesong Eerie use the same strategy in that they are based off of instant kills. And Amethyrax has its own unique strategy in that you just need to get excessively lucky off of extra turns. Is Silver Necropolis easy? I don't recall it being excessively easy. It's definitely easy with potions. I feel like you don't have enough damage output to do it without potions. Though that was a while ago when that came out. And stats are quite a bit higher now compared to then. Yeah, generally speaking, any faction with summon is doable without potions. Not always the case. But if it has a summon, it is definitely more possible to do without a potion effect. And that's mostly because you can replenish your team, even if anything dies. So basically every single battle you get to start with a full team. How's everyone today? Hello, Zex. I'm doing pretty good. Still on the Gnome grind. At 84 at the moment, as you can see. 5 vault keys. Already handed out 2 codes to stream. I'll have another one tonight. So far, drop rate for vault keys, not the greatest, but at least we've been getting a pretty decent gnome count, if nothing else. We've been getting some pretty decent glory. So even though our vault key stack might be a little bit lower, our glory amount is still just as high as ever. Been averaging like 2,500 glory, if not more, per hour, so that's pretty nice. I should almost just keep a glory tracker, because that's probably the most valuable thing that we're getting that isn't vault keys in most of these situations. It's just sheer amount of glory that glory gnome drops. Been a better day than yesterday? If you're referring to gnome drops, yes. Our gnome drops have been. Or if you're just saying that in general. Yesterday was kind of a gloomy day. But today's not much better. Though I do feel really active today. I feel like just running. Probably because I've been cooped up so much. Because I've been trying not to get out as much because of coronavirus. Because I'm ultra paranoid about it, just in case. Better to be too safe and than not safe enough. And luckily I can work from home, so it works nice. Let's see, we'll go for that. Still have to go out whenever I want food, though. Or, you know, whenever I need to pick up more food. Make Starlight a new mod? We could. Always in need of more moderators that are active. Oh, there we go. Level 91 on class. Nice. Progress has been made. But yeah, now we need another 9 levels, which will take another 5 hours to do. We're almost there. Hey, pets. Let's go grab that real quick. I already have it all, but I need the food. Oh, it's already set to Stormcaller. I was going to go change it. But it's already set correctly. Nice. Exactly what we want. Great to see. There's all of our mana. Throw the key down. Throw our mana again. Throw another key down or skull, and he's dead. Actually, even another split would have killed. Or destroy onto the board. Alright, we'll grab that. Take the other one. Take a little bit of red. Grab our... What do we need here? We'll try that into green. Didn't get it. Just grab it for free. Get all of our destroy off of that. Get a key down. Get a key down. Good to go. Yeah, we got a map off it. Not like we need more. Hey, you never know. They might be useful. If they ever become useful, they're worth 30 glory each. That's something to consider, too. Maps are technically 30 glory. Like we were talking about earlier, how there's no glory drop in the game. However, theoretically, there is. Because the actual value of a treasure map, technically, is 30 glory. It's even about the amount of loot worth that you end up getting from a map as well. Because you normally average about 1 gem, which is about 20 glory. And then the rest is a bunch of other things. That might be actual physical glory among gold and other things that are worth about the other 10 glory. So a map technically is worth 30 glory in a way. And if you're ever to mass buy them off of the shop, that's how much they cost as well. It's 30 glory each. So if maps ever become useful, they're theoretically 30 glory of saving per map you have. Which means we have over 600,000 worth of glory of maps. However, of course, that isn't actually their value unless maps become good. But if maps ever became good, that technically would be their value. It's 30 glory each. So it's worth considering with these things like this key and stuff. Because once maps become viable, every single one of those map drops is essentially a 30 glory drop, indirectly. Can you please stop reviving? That's like this 3rd or 4th revive. There we go, finally. That was a lot of kills. We even got like 20 souls for the battle because how many times he died, gosh. That's not nice. Apparently you didn't need it anyways. Oh no, we're doing it again. First revive. He really likes reviving today. He really likes reviving today. What is that? There we go. Keeps getting like triple, double revives all over the place. Good, he didn't revive it all this time. Stay that way. And we key him down, and he's dead. Oh, and dead. Yeah, and he goes. I don't have a drop for that, so let's take another brown. The last little bit of our manas. Should be good to go from here. Fortunately, no kill because it doesn't on these final 2. Gonna get deviled egg in first slot soon. 1 down. Don't revive. No. Why? Why must you do this to us? Oh, 2. He really just loves reviving today. He only has 25% chance. Sure feels like over 50% today. There we go. And he's still not dead. Because that's Fairy Fire, not burning. What's that even from? I guess our perk. I think we have Fairy Fire when an ally dies. And one of our ally died in first slot. Final battle. Because that was not the final. That should have been the 7th battle. And yep. Okay, final battle time. Then we can go get this pet and the food. Also the food because we already have the pet max, of course. However, the pet can convert to food as well. Okay, what do we need here? Get a destroy. Yeah, I'd want to revive 6 in a row. Ouch. I think 4 is the highest I've ever seen. But I have heard horror stories of like 8 or something. Oh no. He's doing it again. It's not over. He's in a really reviving mood today. I normally don't see him revive this much in a pet battle. Yep, there it is, 2. Please die. And stay dead. 3. Okay, finally. There we go. Only 3 revives. Only. That's still a lot. Off of 25%. There we go. Oops, I clicked through it pretty quick. But more copies of it. Grab our tributes. That'll bring us over 21,100. And there we go. Nice. Anyways. Get a little bit more grind here. But if anyone else has any other questions, do let me know. Otherwise, I do think I'm going to start heading off somewhat soon. And then we'll continue our grind tonight. And should be able to reach 100 gnomes tonight. Actually, we probably won't end tonight's stream until we hit 100. We'll probably go until we get one more gnome right now at 85. And then do the other 15 at minimum tonight. And then we'll get pretty much the same amount that we did last week. Though pretty much half the Volkies, if even half. We only have 5. I believe we got 14 Volkies last time. Hopefully we'll get at least 2 more. Normally 10's the objective, but we're definitely below average luck right now. For actual Volky rate. As far as them actually dropping. We're getting a lot of glory drops, which kind of makes up for it. Even though our actual Volky drop looks low, the amount of 1,000 glory drops we've been getting is about average, or even slightly above average, so it's been helping maintain the loot to still be good. Is there a good resource to find PvP teams? I'm not sure if there is anymore. I know on the forum it used to be reported there are a bunch. Now I feel like most of them just hoard them in their discords. I think the official Gems of War Discord might have some teams related to that. I'm not sure how meta some of them are, though. Some of them might just be for fun. Because PvP is done not as much these days. Given that other locations in the game are better to farm in most situations. So most teams tend to be more fun-based than necessarily speed-based. I thought the Gems of War Discord has something like that. I haven't actually checked the Gems of War Discord in like a year. It's been ages. Probably should. I wonder how many people have added me in that Discord. Come on, where's our final gnome? Come out of hiding. He's probably hiding in the cluster. There he is. Just out of curiosity, I do actually want to do a few more battles. Let's see if he is hiding in the cluster. Not like our chance would actually increase, but you never know. There we go. 85. Let's see. Was he a part of a cluster? Let's hope so. Why is Jin is my favorite spot? Just because it's one of the ones that works. He wasn't in a cluster. It's not an immediate one. No cluster for us. Nope. Oh, isn't it posted on the forum somewhere still? The official Discord. Actually, is the Discord link actually in game? Hold up. Don't they actually have it in game? The official Discord? No, they do not, surprisingly. The official Discord for the game is actually not within the links for the game. I always thought it was. Didn't it used to be? But yeah, they got their website. They got the Facebook, the Twitch, the forum, the Twitter. I don't think their Twitch had it on it. Yeah, I always thought there was a link for it in game. Apparently not. Okay, final chest. Gonna give us anything good? Probably not. We got the same chance of getting an Arachnia on this chest as we would get a Nisha on a 12. So come on, Arachnia. If we get Arachnia, that could have been a Nisha. We could have been a Nisha. You gotta be kidding me. That's kind of funny. But yeah, the Arachnia chance is actually the same chance as Nisha on a bigger chest. So that could have been a Nisha. Fail. But oh well. Still nice to see another Arachnia if nothing else. But anyways, guys. Any other questions, anyone? Otherwise, we'll be back in 5.5 hours from now. Continuing our grind. Aiming to at least 100. We're not stopping tonight's stream until we get at least 100 gnomes. And hopefully 7 Vault Keys. But definitely at least 100 gnomes. And from there, we'll probably have Stormcaller 94, 95. Somewhere around there. And go from there. Probably 94. And start working that towards 100. Hopefully we'll be able to get it done this weekend. If not, it's not too big a deal, but do want to get as close as we can to 100. It's not that far of a grind either. It's less than 5 hours at this point. Should be able to get that in between now and then. And we'll go from there. And get our gnomes along the way, of course. So that also means we'd get 2 level 100s in a single weekend, which will be nice. And we can start working on some of the other troops. The next hero class we'll be buying out to max. Next Friday is actually new hero class too. And I'll be buying that to like 3,000 gems probably into it. Or sorry, 3,000 diamonds. I mean, no, I was right the first time. 3,000 gems, which will give us a little bit more than halfway, or about halfway. And then we'll manually grind the rest of it. Because it is really important to get next hero class maxed, because it is actually a really good hero class. It's among one of the best in the entire game. It's an extremely relevant hero class, and it's going to be relatively meta. Or not even relatively meta. It will be meta. It will be in meta for quite a few teams. It's arguably even better than Titan in quite a few situations. I do feel like overall Titan will be better, because this hero class does lack a natural half mana start. But in many cases, it's going to be really, really potent overall. Anyways, guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Best of luck with the Mythic if you're going to be trying for it in Glory Gem Guild or VIP chest still. You still evolve next week to do so until Friday reset, end of Thursday. Best of luck with finding all the gnomes. And if I'm not mistaken, doesn't time move forward by an hour tonight? So don't forget to do that. Otherwise, you might miss our stream that we do tomorrow night going over the things for next week. And hopefully we'll have patch on Monday. It has not been confirmed, but there's a good chance that next patch is this Monday. However, it doesn't really take effect until the following Monday of the 16th, because that's when the first event of the new system takes place. So the patch will 100% be before then. Anyways, guys, thanks for stopping by. Enjoy your weekend. Leave a like if you enjoyed the stream. And hope you all have a wonderful time. Goodbye, everyone. And thanks for stopping by.